Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm supposed I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, so I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what show in the span of the same month had both Benjamin Netanyahu and Nick Fuentes on?
I think it was the PBD.
I think it's only the PBD podcast.
PBD podcast.
Fair to say.
Oh,
So
yeah.
a month ago, I'm hated from one side. A month later, we're hated from the other side. But guess what we want to do? We just want to talk to everybody.
That's all.
As long as you're willing to be respectful, we want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
We don't mind having conversations. I thought it was a very good conversation yesterday. Really enjoyed sitting down, talking to him. He was, I didn't know his whole story, so I finally got a little bit of an understanding of where he's at. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I do know we didn't have a conversation about current events, so we may do a part 2 as well. By the way, I may be doing a 2-hour part 2 with Benjamin Netanyahu, so kind of stay tuned. So one of those two you're not going to like, and we got a few others that it's happening with. And for some of you guys that would like to see Eric Trump, stick around. I'm going to make an announcement for some of you guys to see what's going on there with Eric Trump. All right, let's go into some of the stories that we got going on here. Jimmy Kimmel was very emotional last night, crying because of what happened with Charlie Kirk, and they reinstated him. He came back. We're going to see if it qualifies as an apology or not. Our buddy here, Vinny's going to give his own opinion whether it is or not. Trump's not happy that he went back. Trump called out ABC today. At the same time, Trump yesterday gave a speech. While he's giving a speech, him and Melania are going on the escalator. That's working. The moment she steps on it, after about 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds, a second, boom, it stops. And then they both look to the right and then go back up, walking. And then when he gets on stage, the teleprompter all of a sudden doesn't work. You think those were accidents? If one of them happens, maybe it's an accident. If two of them happen, it's intentional. They were trying to do it intentionally. And guess what he did? He went up on stage and called out everybody. Everybody. He wasn't holding back from nobody. Okay? To everybody, called them out. And then obviously you had the conversation afterwards with Zelensky, which question was asked about Putin. He says, I'll get back to you. You have to see that exchange. We'll talk about that as well. Netflix boss, top Dem donor Reed Hastings praises Trump's $100,000 fee for the H-1B visa. Great solution. Now, on the flip side, a lot of the folks in the business space are warning Trump that this could hurt innovation, drive talent out of U.S., and even some people in India are furious. Why would you do something like this? And forgive the accent, I can't do it that well, but I'm just doing it in the American way. They were not happy about the fact that...
What are you doing?
Yeah,
Sorry.
more like that. I can't do it, though. Keith Olbermann appeared to threaten Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings comes back and says, wait a minute.
Yep.
And then he takes it down. And then Keith Olbermann was forced to apologize to Scott Jennings, something he really enjoys doing if you know his character. Trump designates Antifa as a domestic terrorist group. 5 takeaway from Trump's long, contentious UN speech. Trump criticizes European allies in UN speech. He blasts UN for not living up to its potential. Bunch of other things that'll go there. Trump calls climate change con job. Scam
So
speech
good.
union.
Good.
And then the Tylenol people, folks. Let me tell you, if you, Vinny got it right this morning. If you want to get liberals to do something, tell them Trump said it's bad. So Trump says don't take Tylenol. There's pregnant women taking Tylenol.
My God.
And then I retweeted a tweet from Tylenol from 8 years ago saying we don't recommend you taking Tylenol. I mean, direct warning from Tylenol, ladies. But we'll get to that and have some conversations about this, how the claims of Tylenol leads to autism. And then you got Eric Adams warns many Gen Z voters are back in Mamdani are foul-mouthed, U.S.-hating radicals. That's what he called them. And,
He's not wrong.
Well, you know, listen, I'm trying to get people to say the N-word a little bit less. That's how we're contributing towards
good.
it,
Yeah, let's
to
do that.
improve the language that we have, and God willing, it'll work. Kamala Harris says maybe she was too cautious not picking Pete Buttigieg. Is there a more embarrassing book tour than the one she's doing? I can think of one, but this one is absolutely embarrassing. Harry Enten, what are you doing? He warns Democrats are in trouble ahead of the midterms. NVIDIA investing up to $100 billion into ChatGPT OpenAI to create new AI breakthrough. Fed governor installed by Trump outlines bold case of bold case to slash interest rates to 2.5% in months. And Tom's got some thoughts he's not surprised by. Russia, Iran to sign documents on building new nuclear reactors in Iran. Oh, great news. I mean, it's just another great update. Bill Maher spars with Rob Reiner over wanting to put conditions on Democrats even speaking to GOP. Who the hell are you to put those things in place? And then we got a couple other stories here that we'll get into. I live in a women-only commune. There's no men and no drama, okay?
I'm moving in, ladies.
There's this area that is a women-only place, and there are no men, and they claim there is no drama. Now, that was Adam's number one story he wanted to react to. All right, so then we got YouTube comes out yesterday, Google, stating that, yes, they heard from Biden. So remember when they did the Twitter files in 2022-ish, and they said that, yes, Barry Weiss, who was it? Give me some of the names. Michael
Schellenberger.
And then it was the other guy, Matt Taibbi, that, yes, they got emails from Biden's campaign saying, hey, you can't put this video, the whole New York Post story about Hunter Biden. Now Google has come out and said yes, and now Google is reinstating those channels that they shut down. God knows how many strikes we got during that time. But good for YouTube for making this kind of a move. We will talk about that.
I have an opinion on that.
I know you do. I'm sure you do.
They did it at gunpoint.
I know you did. Okay, so would-be Trump assassin tries to stab himself in the neck after guilty verdict. And you can always judge somebody by their kids. You should see his daughter outside. Did you see that one or no? Yeah, she's
Get away,
fantastic.
go to hell.
Yeah, she's great.
Do we have video on that?
Yeah, there's video.
Wow.
So it's your type. So
crazy man tries to do something crazy.
Left-wing terrorism on the rise, according to the Atlantic. Huh. And we got a few other things that's going on here that maybe we'll get into. Having said that, two things I want to share with you guys. Okay, one, for all of you guys that were going through the faith over fear.
Thank you.
Shirt that, by the way, thousands.
I love you guys.
That's
orders. What I'm talking about.
Thousands of orders. Awesome. For people to have that kind of boldness to put that out there, Vinny, gotta respect it.
It's literally the cross. You're letting everybody know who you are in the front, and you're letting them know I have faith and I'm not afraid of anything. And I got so many Manex and so many DMs from girls that are like, "Where you never have anything for us?" Well, guess what? We got for a female shirt. We'll have other colors coming, but for right now, we have a teal shirt for the women with faith over fear. And then guess what? Yesterday, Leonetta also put the hoodie. We have the hoodie because it's gonna, it's the season's changing, and there we go. That actually looks pretty bad.
Go to VCMerch.com. Place your faith over fear. Jackets, shirts, ladies, get a gift for your wife. Gents, get a gift for your wife. And then pick up a PBD podcast hat, Future Looks Bright, whatever other gear you want to add to it as well. On top of that, announcement. For those of you guys that know about the Boardroom Cigar Lounge that we have, memberships, we are having an event very soon. It's extremely soon. And for some of you guys that want to be a part of it, to meet Eric Trump, all you have to do is go to the Boardroom Cigar Lounge website. Rob, can you put the link below, please, so they have it? Fill out the application. When you do, one of our reps will get a hold of you. They will do a background check on you. And if it makes sense, you'll be able to be a member. If you are, Eric Trump will be doing a podcast at our cigar lounge with myself. And many of you guys will get a chance to meet him. And Platinum members, there's going to be a special gift for you. Platinum members, if you're watching this, that you're already a member of the Cigar Lounge, make sure you tell Michele and the whole crew that you're coming in to make your reservations. Your reservations must be made by tomorrow at midnight. Everybody else that wants to be a member of the Cigar Lounge, go to the Boardroom, cigarlounge.com. Memberships, apply. Somebody will call you today. I have a feeling we're going to be flooded with membership requests, and obviously we'll get a hold of you and talk to you more about it.
You said it was going to be more than just a cigar lounge, and I love this.
And by the way, we have a special event that's going on with the members as well, with cigar and champagne, all this other stuff as well. There's so much networking going on. There's so many people that are there. It's people who do very well financially, who want to be around other people that do very well financially, that don't want to have their phones out to take pictures nonstop. They just want to talk because no phones are allowed when you go inside. So anyways, go to the Boardroom, cigarlounge.com, apply for membership. Having said that, let's get right into it. Rob, can you please pull up the clip of Jimmy Kimmel on him being back on day one. A lot of people thought it was going to be Newsom being on his first show, but it wasn't. Newsom went on Colbert. But this is Jimmy Kimmel. After being announced that he's coming back, opening show, everyone's wondering, he's not going to say anything. He's not going to say anything. I said, I think he has to, or else they're not going to bring him back, because this is a terrible look for one guy. And you know who that one guy is? Bob Iger. And here's what Jimmy did last night.
I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear, because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. And also, selfishly, I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my coworkers, because of what I choose to say. And I know those.
And by the way, I'm sure he does, and I don't want any of that on him either. And I have some ideas for you, Jimmy. I got some ideas for you. I'm going to ask you guys if you guys think it's sincere or not. Bob and Jimmy, here's an idea for you. Why not, for you guys, as you're going through this, if you truly, Bob, want to show that this is a new you, because of ratings, Rob, if you show the ratings. Brandon Carr, I think that's the gentleman's name. Yeah, he came back and said, this being taken down, everybody's blaming Trump and Brandon Carr. It's not. Bob Iger took him down. He made the decision. But the reality of it is, this is Jimmy Kimmel's ratings, guys. Horrible. I mean, from the moment he comes in, he went from 0.71 to, look where it's at.
Trash.
It go from 11. That's 14 years ago. He went up, he had a spike, then he went down, and it's at the lowest of the lowest of the lowest. That's 2024, 2025. Zoom out a little bit, Rob, just to show the other ones. That's Colbert, which I believe is which one's Colbert?
The Colbert is the Late Show, and
Colbert's
the Tonight
Late
Show
and
is
he's down.
with Fallon.
And Fallon's even down.
So they're all down.
By the way,
Fallon's the lowest.
They're all
It's
down.
not just down. It's
but
50%
why
lower
are
than
they
Colbert.
down? No, Tom, Fallon is not down 50%.
Is the worst.
He's down 80%.
Like, five people are watching.
Bob. CNN, CBS. What channels are these on, by the way? All of them.
Is it Sinclair?
The big three.
Give me the shows.
ABC, NBC, CBS.
Okay. I got a question
Kimmel's
for all
on
of you
ABC.
guys. I got a question for all of you guys.
Yes, sir.
Do you realize, you guys, not you guys, do you realize why this is? To all of you, none of you are winning. All of you are getting destroyed. Why? Why? In business, when you look at case studies and you try to see one that's doing well, is Gutfeld a more talented comedian than Fallon?
Not even close.
Then why is he destroying you guys? Because he's talking to an audience that they're not making fun of. And all you're doing is making fun of the conservative audience. Here's the thing, Jimmy, Fallon, Kimmel. If you truly want to do this, you know what would be great? Invite Erica Kirk on the show.
Yeah.
Invite Erica Kirk on the show. By the way, Jimmy, it's going to get you 30 million views. Invite Erica Kirk.
Wow.
Invite her and talk to her. Have her on your show. See what it does to you. Invite the family. Invite the people involved there. Invite Tucker. Invite Trump. Invite Don Jr. Not 80%, not 99%, because all your interviews are on the left. Invite them. See what they do. You brought the pillow guy before, Jimmy Kimmel. You had him on a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And it actually did well. Invite them. You're able to have these conversations. So if Bob Iger truly is leading, because Bob, Michael Eisner called you out, and I'm not a fan of Michael Eisner. He called you out. And during his reign, Disney 30x valuation. Under your reign, 4 or 5x. Even though I'm a fan of your story on how you went for 41 years at ABC, being where you're at and where ABC is now today, not ABC, Disney is at today, it's under your watch. You left. What a run of a lifetime. Then you return. Bob Chapek. And then now on you, look what Disney's going through. So if you guys truly want to make a statement that, hey, we are for America, like American kids also like Disney, we grew up watching Disney movies in Iran. You know, all of them. In Farsi, believe it or not. But we watch them in Iran. Disney's everywhere. You have a shot at getting back to being for everybody. Look at this. Out of all the guests, this is the timeline that they had. It's written all the way at the top. Colbert, 176 liberal Democrats, 1 conservative. Daily Show, 157-9. Seth Meyers, 68-0. Kimmel, 58-2. Fallon, 41-2. Trevor Noah, 7-0. James Gordon, 4-0. Why? This is your problem. Your business model sucks, and everybody noticed it publicly. Now what are you going to do about it? Massive, massive opportunity. Invite Erica Kirk. That's the way to do it. And make a decision collectively, the booking team. You're not going to like me giving this idea. For every one we bring on the right, we bring one from the left. Try 1-to-1. They'll come. See, the problem with us is people are like, why don't you invite Don Lemon? I've invited him 50 times. Why don't you invite, Rachel? Why don't you invite Kamala Harris? Why don't you invite? We've invited them so many times. They don't show. Jubilee Show, who is ran by liberals. On the inside, they're destroying you. Jubilee is destroying you. Fallon, Kimmel, all these Colbert. How is Jubilee, a bunch of regular guys, destroying you? You know why? You know what they say? They don't agree with all the conservatives, but they say yes. You know what liberals say? No, I need the questions in advance. That's the problem. But here's my challenge. Kimmel, Fallon, and Seth, invite conservatives. They will show up because they're not afraid of the camera. They won't ask for the questions. They won't. All they ask for is one thing. You know what that one thing is? Respect. That's it. All they ask is one thing. You invite them and see what it does to your show. And by the way, within 90 days, it won't even take that long. Look what happens to your ratings. I'm willing to bet money on it if you do it. But I know you won't because you guys are scared on the inside. I know you won't. I know you won't. You're too scared on the inside. God forbid all the liberal people on the inside start storming out and saying, I'm protesting. I'm leaving. All these scared people to talk to others. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. By the way, Jimmy, I respect you for coming out and saying it. And Bob, I respect you for letting him know, here's the line, if you don't come out and say something, you ain't coming back. Because he had to do that because, Bob, you gave him an option. That's my speculation on what happened there. Vinny, I know you have different feelings, and I want to hear your thoughts as well. Yeah. I'm going to come to you. I want to hear from your thoughts, but I kind of want to share that with everybody. Go for it. Great point. You just gave fantastic, free business advice that they are never going to take. Okay, these guys are the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. And if you think for 2 seconds they're going to do something that's going to change to go for the positive, we're all delusional, Pat. They're getting money from all this big pharma and all these donors. They have to stick to their guns. And you know what? As a Christian, I will accept your apology 1,000%. I'll never forget, but I'll accept your apology if you actually say, I am sorry. He didn't say I'm sorry.
I apologize for what I did. Not one time did this political hack, unfunny, that's the word. You're a comedian.
You don't interpret that as an apology?
I don't interpret that as an apology at all. You know what he said?
You don't either, Tom?
No, he said this. I do not want to make something, I want to make something clear because it's important for me. This is a quote as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. That's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you did, Jimmy. All right? And this is him 7 days ago. 7 days ago.
Tell me what you mean that's exactly what he did.
What do you mean? He said he didn't want to make intention to make light of the murder. Yes, he did. He was cracking jokes about how Trump responded. He was saying, and I quote, the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything that other than one of them. And then yesterday he goes, I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. Yes, he does. He says who he does. Look at all the evidence. I just think it's disingenuous, Pat. He didn't want to apologize. You know why they didn't want him to come back on, Tom? Because he said he wanted to go back and go after MAGA even more. And it's like, enough of this. When are they going to learn your words?
Exactly
and they keep talking about censorship. All I've been seeing is all the celebration of the pillow guy, Mike Lindell, of Donald Trump, of Roseanne. These people they're the biggest hypocrites in the history of the world. Plain and simple, okay? And I don't, Pat, and you as a businessman, you're giving them the model. Like, these people do not understand. Numbers don't lie. How many times does Tom have to say this? Words talk, numbers scream. How many times? How many times? And Disney, they didn't learn their lesson.
There's the guest count.
Yeah, and how long are they not learning their lesson? They're still projecting that LGBTQ stuff. They're still trying to groom the kids in their videos, and it's like, enough is enough. Like, are you not getting it? Budweiser puts Dylan Mulvaney, a transgender, like, as if that was gonna work. And how many billions did they lose? Okay, Pat, I swear to you, anybody that looks at me in the face and says, Vinny, whatever I did, I am sorry. I want to hear it. At least say it. Okay,
I think that's fair. I
didn't hear
that's
it
fair,
at all.
But I think that's fair. But I do think, did he not, when it happened, tweet about it or say something about it, Rob? Why do I feel like he said something about it when that day it happened?
Well, he said in his monologue that he had put something on Instagram. So let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at Instagram. I actually can't find it.
But Pat, it's going to be back to business, talking crap about Trump. You know how he really feels. You know how he really feels. They hate Pat. They hate us. They truly hate us. And I'm telling you, just because he's not celebrating and whatever, if God forbid something happened to the president, those people are throwing parties. That is a fact. These people, the Keith Olbermanns and all them, Keith Olbermann's at the top of the totem pole, but all these people, Pat, they are captured by something different.
Well,
I don't believe it.
We'll come back to
okay.
So is this the one that says, instead of angry finger pointing, can we just one day agree that it's horrible monster? So he, on behalf of my family, we send our love to Kirk's mom. Okay, so he did. But then he made fun to blame MAGA.
Yes.
And that's the part that, Sinclair and others pulled the show and they said, we're not dealing with this. Okay, Tom, where are you at with this?
So if I gave an apology like that to my wife on something, it was never my intention. What I really meant to do, she's waiting for me to look at her and say, hey, I'm really sorry. Do you forgive me for that? That was just, and then say, Kim, it never was my intention, but that's the way it came off, and that's my fault. That's on me. That's an apology. I didn't hear an apology. I heard writers. I saw some emotion in Jimmy, but I don't think Jimmy wants to be out there. He was apoplectic, and he was very clear.
You don't believe he feels bad for a 31-year-old father of two getting killed?
Do I think when he steps back and does he feel bad for that? I think he does. How can any
I agree. I think
human
he does.
not?
Yeah.
But you asked me how I felt.
Yeah.
And I don't think this was a full apology. I think there's a lot of emotion inside him, because I think there's a lot of confusion on the left at the strength of the response they got. Remember, they've never had to apologize. They've never had to own up to it. They've never had to be called into account for those guest counts. Mm-hmm. They've never had to be pushed to the edge and say, why don't you have equal time? And instead, I don't have disdain for what Jimmy just said. I don't have anger for what he just said. I guess the word, Pat, is I don't think it was complete. I don't think it was complete. And I think, does he have some real emotion and thinking about what really happened when he gets past of the propagation and the ire he has for MAGA? Yeah, I think so. But I think he was also staring into the abyss of a career. He's trying to renegotiate a contract. This contract's coming up this year. There's a lot of things going on at Disney. He was probably not in some very, productive conversations. According to Disney, they don't have a renewal offer on the table, and the ratings are why. And I look at that and I'm like, come on, Jimmy, this is an opportunity at this point in your career to make a full-throated apology, and then to take a look at it and just don't take anybody's word for it. Don't listen to what you just said, Pat. What you just said was so eloquent. But look at what Van Jones said. Look at what Van Jones said. Look at what other people are saying and saying, wait a minute here. Is there an opportunity for dialogue? And right now, I feel like they're kind of trapped in the echo chamber, and they are cornered by the tigers and the hyenas on the left, which were the pets they adopted.
Yeah.
And now those pets have grown up and they don't know how to handle them and they're trapped. I think Jimmy's was incomplete. I saw emotion there that I feel was authentic. But really, what's behind it, the real guy was the guy that said, no, I'm going to go out and I'm going to double down on my MAGA attack. That's a guy that's not looking to have a conversation. That's a guy that's not looking to take the road like Van Jones talked about.
I know, great point, Tom. Did he apologize for during COVID saying, hey, if you're vaccinated, come into the hospital. If you're not, die. Go ahead and die because you're not vaccinated. He goes, taking horse goo? Go ahead, Wheezy. That's who he is. Has he apologized for saying, hey, if you didn't take this experimental drug, go die outside of a hospital?
I think that's
ridiculous.
I agree with that on that he did go to that position. Let's isolate here, right? What I want to isolate here is, Adam, what thoughts do you have with this here, with Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy led off by saying, look, I know that this show is not important. And then he went on to kind of give like a monologue. I think he would have just stopped right there. I know that this show is not important, period. Because the show really isn't that important. What is important is what the show represents. And Vinny kind of touched on this, and I'll go deeper. TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, is a real thing. Mm-hmm. You know, like what's the line in the movie? Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yep.
They thought that they were done with Trump. In 2020, Biden showed up, and they pretty much were. But then they fumbled the ball, the Biden administration, Kamala Harris, and lo and behold, Trump came back. And the Trump derangement syndrome, which was sort of like simmering, came back full-throated more than ever.
Yep.
And you broke people's brains.
Yes.
Like, we can't just kind of move past, like, they're like, what? Like, it's because it's true. Because a lot of it is just completely irrational emotion, not logic. And when you talk about having anyone on the show from the right, whether it's Erica Kirk, God forbid, whether it's Trump himself, Fallon had Trump on. Kimmel had the My Pillow dude on.
Mike Lindell.
But when you make the statement that he is Hitler, they're all Nazis, they're all fascists, you're not going to invite Hitler onto your show.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome to the show. Tonight we got Mussolini,
Adolf.
Stalin, and Adolf Hitler. Welcome to the show. They're never going to happen because that's what they think that they're at. And when you think that Trump can never tell the truth, that any word that comes out of his mouth is a lie, there's an inability to acknowledge that he can do anything good for the country. How do you find common ground on that? So, Pat, you touched on this. People from the right, look what Charlie Kirk did. He's inviting people to debate, open discussion, dialogue. Even the message that he sent to Van Jones before he was assassinated. You don't see people on the left doing that. Can you show those stats one more time, Rob, about the percentage? Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. When it's 99%, that one, 99% liberals or Democrats, at least the Daily Show is like batting 10% that they'll give, if that. But everybody else, I mean, it's just so left. What do you expect to happen?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, at this point of the game, this is where it kind of takes me. This week on the HerTake show, Rob, if you want to go to it, there was an incident that happened. And HerTake is one of the shows that we're very excited about. Quite frankly, I built this show as the EP because I think we need this in 27, 28. And our team, when we started the show, I said one thing to my entire executive team, let's see if we can get this thing off the ground, because the hardest part about these types of shows is getting everybody to get along, because it's going to get feisty, it's going to get hot, it's going to have challenges, it's going to have issues, things are going to happen. And this last week on the show, Rob, if you can go to, right, you know where it's at, it's right around there.
Right there.
Something happens, they're having a discussion. Jillian Michaels, Anna Kasparian, Lindy Lee, and Amy Dangerfield are having a conversation about Israel and, you know, what problems they have with it, what problems they don't have with it. And here's what ends up happening, Rob. If maybe play it a little bit, play it from right there. Go for it. I don't want it to be 3 minutes, Rob. If you can make it like a 1 minute thing, that's what I want to do. Okay, so here's Lindy going.
Killed him. We're talking about 200. Please do not conflate the two.
Okay,
Rob,
well, unilaterally across the board now, we've got multiple accusations that all pile up to the same exact.
No, I think it's the furries. It's the furries. I think it's the furries. But a lot of people.
I don't know, and I don't look.
There's
those who are
zero
saying
evidence to suggest none.
Okay, you're saying, guys, can we just stop for a second? This is ridiculous.
This is absurd.
Like, this whole thing is ridiculous. There are two things being conflated right now. There are conspiracy theorists who think Israel killed Charlie Kirk. They have yet to provide a shred of evidence proving that. Done. End
We're
of
not
story.
talking about that.
I am talking about something entirely
you were talking
different.
about
no,
that.
we're not. Hold on.
Oh, you
Let
were
me
talking
finish
about
my
that.
fucking thought.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay,
Hey-o.
the real
Whoa.
issue here is that before most people even knew that Charlie Kirk was dead, you have Netanyahu giving multiple interviews talking about how, using the fucking moment for his own political purposes, like the fucking
That's
ghoul
totally
that he is. Let me finish my point.
Than him killing Charlie Kirk.
Did I not
never
just?
said that.
I literally
Okay, so now we're just gonna make a
Let me finish
sidebar
my
to-
point, Jillian, because none of us can finish the damn point without someone
It's
else
coming
jumping
up.
down your throat. I don't think that Israel killed him because there's no evidence of that. But I had a problem with Netanyahu exploiting an assassination in this country for his own political means and purposes and lying about the nature of
Okay,
his
watch
relationship
what's
with
about to
Charlie
happen
Kirk.
here.
Because Charlie Kirk didn't like Netanyahu, just like any warm-blooded American shouldn't. Netanyahu is a bad guy. And he wanted to make it seem like, no, we were all great. We were good. We had a great relationship. Little did we know behind the scenes,
I don't
there
know
was a
how
lot
every
of pressure
show
toward
ends up
Netanyahu.
being about how do we bash Israel. This is not for me. I am not interested in this.
Okay,
I love
I
you
know.
guys.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Let's be good.
I
Let's
have
be good about
zero
precious
interest
Israel. Let the
in
country
fucking
committing a
every
genocide.
show.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have zero. I think you guys are great. I fundamentally disagree with you about like every show doing this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So can we
So
continue
you can
the
pause
conversation?
it right there. So obviously the back and forth, the conversation that's happening, maybe one too many F-bombs. I remember one time I was on Young Turks the day after Trump won, and I said shit. And then Anna corrected me and said, Hayden, česká transponder says, you can't say a word like, oh, well, okay, sounds good because, TV, okay, fine, no problem. But anyways, so this happens, and they walk off. And then Anna Kasparian goes later on, and I think she reacts to the show on the incident that took place and gives her thoughts, and she's kind of going through it. See, here's the thing with me. A lot of time when people say, Pat, you're funded by Mossad. Do you think Mossad would support having Anna Kasparian on one of your shows? You're Zionist. Do you think Zionists would give me money if I had Anna Kasparian as one of the co-hosts on a HerTake show? No. You're homophobic. You're such a thing. Do you think we would be comfortable having Jillian? She's a very openly,
She's a lesbian.
She's a lesbian. Met her wife, incredible wife. That we sat down, we had conversations with. Do you think we'd have a problem with that? No, none of that. We like conversations. Now, let me give feedback on this HerTake thing that took place. We're going to continue, and we're going to find our team. Ladies, I mean, we had a list of 50 people that wanted the position to be the host of the show, okay? We had a list of 50 people, narrowed down to 10, to 5, to 3, and then we chose to go with Jillian. My thoughts on this, because everyone's asking me, what's your position on this? What's your position on this? Let me tell you what I would have done differently. This is what I would have done differently. Number one, I would have walked out. Number two, I would have dropped the F-bombs a little bit, Anna. I wouldn't have done either. Number three, I would have, my position when it comes down to Israel, you guys have heard what I've said with Charlie Kirk, all that stuff, and the way we addressed it. Maybe the timing was a different timing. Maybe there was a more appropriate time to do it, not a day after the memorial to have that conversation. Maybe. Those are all disputable by the audience to dispute and argue and all that other stuff. You know what would have been ideal? And what we're having a hard time doing? How different is this than what Jimmy Kimmel is doing right now? Or the left is doing right now for not inviting anybody on the right? What I would have liked to have happened is, hey, Pat, can you do the next show with us? Come sit down and let's have a conversation together. Where are you at? And me and Anna would debate, and me and Jillian would debate. We would have the conversation, and we would move forward. But that never happened. It got to the last point. This doesn't mean we're not continuing doing what we're going to do with the show. There may be a pause on the show for us to kind of make a decision what we're doing. Anytime you start, the show's a new startup, by the way. One thing about me, when you're here in the company, I don't know if you guys were at the vault, we're inside the tornado. We got a lot of things going on right now. And guess what? We freaking love it. Absolutely love it. We don't feel like we're victims. Oh, poor us. Oh, poor this. Nope. These are all talented ladies that are giving their opinions, and things got heated in a very heated time in America where temperatures are super, super, super high. And we're trying to find a way to lower the temperature by having conversations. It's why I had Nick on. It's why I had BB on last month. And both of them, a guy who's very reputable in the marketplace, who's been around the game for a long time, you're going to see what's going to happen to you next. You're going to see what's going to happen to you next. As if those things does anything to a guy that grew up in Iran being bombed on, living in a freaking wartime. You think that's going to do anything to this kid? What do you think? You're going to be, you see what's going to happen to you next. So stuff you should never tell me. It's going to happen to you next. You out of your freaking mind? Why would you ever have him on? 2 crowds asked me about why would you ever have him on. BB and Fuentes. So funny, I had BB, Fuentes, Trump, Tate, Anthony Weiner, name him. Who else? Dan Bilzerian. What do you want to do here? We're not afraid of conversations, guys. When we sit down, we debate these ideas. And if you're a long-term thinker, long-term thinkers, everything works itself out. If you truly have a vision, if you're walking on eggshells every single flipping day, everything has to be perfect for you, good luck. And that's to everybody. I don't want any feedback from any one of you guys on what happened on HerTake. I don't want your opinions. Guys, here, this is our show. This is our brand. We're not going to say anything here. We're going to move on. I'm giving you mine. You're hearing it from the EP of HerTake. I want to take a moment quickly to address that, and we can move on to anything else. By the way, if you're a talent looking to be on HerTake, and actually, some people were thinking Adam would be great for HerTake.
Yeah,
but
we're in the dress.
We had a bad incident, which, by the way, Anna didn't walk off when he did what he did. And I called you, and I said what? I said, hey, I was what? Distasteful.
Yeah.
To do something like that, right? I didn't ask you to apologize or anything. I just said that's distasteful on what you did. And he said, you know what, good, we'll move on. But if you're a lady, and you also in 2027, 2028, you want to be part of the plan that we have on what we want to do by 2027, 2028, and you're somebody that's willing to have the conversation, reach out to me on Connect. Or send us recommendations in Connect Circle. Anybody that you want. Rob, can you go to Connect Circle's QR code? Go there, join our circle, PBD Podcast Circle. You can join it for free. Or if you want to comment on it, you can join it for $10 a month. And tell us what you think. Tell us who you recommend. We will get back to you and see on exactly what we'll have there. We're always hiring people for the show, and we're excited about it. And when we regroup and come back, we're excited to see what we do next. Anyways.
Did you see that? I just sent you a text. There was a shooting at a Dallas ICE facility involving a sniper. Multiple shooters reported. The active shooter,
now?
right? At 7 a.m., they were shooting. He was on the roof. They were transporting illegals, and the sniper was shooting and hit a couple people. And I think Homeland Security went to respond. And apparently, allegedly, he had a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his head. And this just happened. This just happened. Boom.
This
in
is
Dallas.
where?
This is in Dallas, Pat, at the ICE facility where they're unloading. So at 7 o'clock, shots were fired at the ICE facility.
ICE like ICE?
ICE. ICE
Like
immigration.
Yeah.
Federal ICE.
And they found him. It's like
Can you press the clip, Rob?
Yeah.
We believe that
No,
he was
ICE agents
shooting
were shot.
at
What
law
street is
enforcement and the
this?
detainees from an apartment building.
Looks like
Again,
that
those
Belline
details
Road.
are still murky. It looked like it might have been a sniper or some sort of
What's the exit, Tom?
long
That's
form
Dallas
shot.
North, no?
Yeah,
but
that's I-35
as soon as we have
South
more
by Love
information, we
Field.
will
See the
give that out.
sign?
But
Yeah,
we do
I see
ask
the
the
Love
American
Field.
public, please join us in praying for the victims, for our law enforcement. We've been saying for months.
Can I say one thing?
Mockingbird
Guys,
Lane that runs right down
do
there.
you remember about this rhetoric that we keep talking about? Just a couple days ago, Gavin Newsom, who's on all these networks, yesterday he was on Colbert, he said to ICE, unmask. What are you afraid of? And he's been going after, and this is the type of crap that you talk about, and this is what happens.
Yeah. Well, listen.
FYI.
Thank God nobody's shot or hurt, but we're living in very, very interesting times, and this is why we must have those conversations. By the way, can I make a request from you guys if you're watching this? I want to make a request from you. Hey, Rob, can you go on my Twitter account, please? Can you go on Twitter account? Can you do me a favor? Here's what I want you to do. I just post this up. Would you mind going and reposting this or asking the question of Jimmy Kimmel and Bob Iger? Can we send the PBD podcast audience to this tweet? I say, hey, Jimmy, I watched your show last night and appreciate you addressing the audience. Here's a challenge to you and Bob Iger. Why not invite Erica Kirk on the show to show respect to her and the family. And moving forward, consider inviting more conservatives on your show. 141, your show will see ratings it's never seen before within 30 to 90 days. Thoughts?
Boom.
Retweet it, comment, and ask them the question. Let's see if they're going to actually react to it. But by the way, one thing's for a fact, they're both going to see it, just so you know that. And a message is directed really to two people, Iger and Kimmel. Let's see how they react. Let's see if there's any attention on wanting to improve and paying attention to their audience. Rob, if you can put the link of the tweet in the chat. Folks, this is the power of people that we collectively have. All of us collectively can make good change happen in the world. All right, let's go to the UN speech. 5 takeaways from Trump's long, contentious UN speech. This is the Hill giving the story. So I'll read this to you, and then we'll get into a couple of the videos that we'll play. Number 1, the United Nations wasn't there for us. Trump criticized the UN as irrelevant, failing in global security. All they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow up on that letter, he said. Rob, I'm sure you have the videos on these here. If you have them one by one, I wouldn't mind going through them. Deflects blame for stable Gaza, Ukraine talks, calls climate change greatest con job ever. Let's watch a few of them here. Here's President Trump. Go for it.
I didn't think of it at the time because I was too busy working to save millions of lives. That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during these negotiations, which were not easy. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that solves war and wars is action. Now, after ending all of these wars and
Okay, Rob. So that's that one. What other clips do we have, Rob?
I have him slamming climate change as
Play
a
the climate
hoax.
change one. So here's Trump on climate change at the UN.
global warming, not happening. You know, it used to be global cooling. If you look back years ago in the 1920s and the 1930s, they said, global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something. Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler, so now they could just call it climate change because that way they can't miss. It's climate change. Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost their countries fortunes and given those same countries no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And
I love that. I'll pause you. There's a clip about immigration. We'll come to it here in a minute. Adam, your thoughts on
Go
that?
ahead, Benny. I'm just pulling something up real quick.
Oh, well, first of all, I think what he said, one of the main ones he said was, which struck out to me, which I didn't know that this was even a stat. In 2024, this is what he said, and I quote, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support migrants journeying into the United States. Okay? The UN also provided food, shelter, and transportation and debit cards to illegal aliens. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. It's the United States. Okay? And he also went on, Pat, and he said, he kind of, to Tom, a jab at, what's her name? Von der Leyen. He said,
Von der Leyen, yeah, EU. She's president of the EU Economic Council.
Clowning him. He said, they're buying oil and gas from Russia while fighting Russia. And he said, it's very embarrassing to them. When I found out about it, I can tell you that. And he said he stopped 7 wars, and all he got was an escalator mess up and a teleprompter that doesn't work. And I want to say something. He handled it like a pro. Okay, and I'll do the 2 things. First, the first thing, they said that they messed with his audio. There was reports that his audio, they lowered it and everybody else's was loud. Number 1. Number 2, he shows up and the teleprompter is not working. And like I said, like a
is this it,
Rob? Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
very much appreciated.
You can tell he's a little
And I
bit
don't mind
nerves.
making the speech without a teleprompter because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you, nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
Funny. So funny. And then, Rob, can you, because I want to talk about the escalator, do you have the one that I sent you about? And this is my problem with this, Pat. First of all, the escalator stops as him and Melania are about to start going up, and she actually jolts forward, all right? And Rob, you have?
Yeah, I do. Hang on one
Okay, yeah, do your thing. And by the way, the UN staffer members had previously, this is according to The Times, not the New York Times, but The Times, I think in England, that they previously joked about turning off the escalator, okay? And then they've joked around turning them off, the elevators and the escalators, and tell him that they ran out of money, so he'd have to walk up the stairs. Yeah, could you show this really fast? And watch Melania, Tom. She kind of jerks forward because it stops. Right?
She's wearing high heels.
Yeah, no,
so this could have been very bad.
Yeah.
She's a pro,
Right.
so she's not
Boom,
affected
stop,
by it.
boom.
Yeah.
Look at this. Ready? Done. Now, watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now, do you understand why this is so freaking dangerous? If someone was wanting to do something bad, this is like a coordinated. I know they're trying to be funny, but you freeze the target. He stops. He's not moving. Okay, and considering all the stuff that's going on right now, including him taking a bullet, this type of stuff can't be tolerated. And Caroline Levitt said they're already doing an investigation to who's doing it. Because think about it, guys. That's a plan. If you can get that to happen beforehand or after the math bat, who's to say that somebody can be like, you know what? We're going to get underneath the escalator, because you guys have seen them at the malls when they're working on them. Let's just put a little device under it because we know he's going to stop. Okay, this is extremely problematic for me because he's still, Pat, security-wise or whoever the hell's in charge, he's still touchable, meaning they could still get to him and ruin, like, dude, for 9 seconds, he's standing still. This was in New York. God forbid he was in foreign land. Mike, if something else is going on, you take the shot. And by the way, I'm talking about prosecuted whoever the hell that was, because, bro, this is the president, the leader of the free world, and you guys made him a stationary target. And I think, dude, and these are UN staffers, Pat. I would, oh my God. And on top of them funding an illegal invasion here, I'm done with that.
So there's two things here. There's the if it happens once, it could be an accident. But if it's the audio that you're saying, I didn't hear the audio, but I'm hearing what you're saying. If it's the audio, it's the teleprompter, and it's the escalator going up, you're messing with them. Now, it could be somebody on the AV team, or it could be somebody at the top, because the AV team doesn't deal with the escalator team, doesn't deal with the teleprompter. Well, the AV and the teleprompter will be the same, but the escalator is a different team. Or it has to be a collaborated effort from somebody at the top. Or it could be the fact that there's 0.0003% chance that all of that happens at the same time.
Yeah. And you saw it. Like, he literally, think about it, guys. I don't know about escalators, but the moment they touched it, it stops. That means somebody was like, now, off, power, escalator.
You're right. Exactly.
That's a plan.
Exactly. No, you're right.
That's a plan.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're right. So
I'm not cool with that
Adam,
at
your
all.
thoughts?
Okay, this speech was the most consequential, most important speech of our lifetime. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. It was that important. The last time that Trump spoke at the UN was 6 years ago. They laughed at him. They literally laughed at him. You remember the whole speech with Seth Meyers and Obama, and they clowned him, and he just sat there and took it at I think it was the White House Correspondents' Dinner, whatever it was. He said, okay, 6 years ago, Trump was at the UN. They laughed at him. This time, they knew what was coming. They knew. We talk about there's a coordinated attack. It's a conspiracy. What are the chances it happened to no other leaders? The escalator stops, meaning they didn't want him to even show up because he was on his way to give the speech. The teleprompter stops working all of a sudden, and the audio isn't working as well. This seems like a coordinated attack. It happened to no other leaders. I could be wrong, but prove me wrong. What he said was the most important speech of our lifetime, and he called out everybody Trump to their face. They're sitting there in the audience like this. Do you remember the movie Half Baked? I think it was Dave Chappelle walked into the room and he goes, F you, F you, F you, You're cool. F you. I'm out.
Yeah.
That's literally what Trump did. And he was telling the truth. He called out weak leaders. He called out the UN globalist migration agenda. He called the global warming scam. He called them out. And everyone was like, oh my God. And if you take an unbiased, non-sensitive view, he's 100% right. At one point, he said,
was right.
You know, they say that Trump was right about everything. That's true. I'm actually really good at this. This is what strong, effective leadership looks like. And there's people out there that are blind with rage about Trump. If you love America and you hate Trump, you can hate Trump all you want. What he just did was the truth. And it needed to be said.
And by the way, while he's there, he's talking about immigration, Rob. If you can tell him you're destroying your countries.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this clip here. Go for it.
Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And I have to say, I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed, so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law. But you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained.
That's a pretty big call out right there. Massive call out. Is this a different one, Rob?
This is where Trump says he was right about everything.
Go ahead.
I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. Proud to see.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Your thoughts, Tom.
Well, I'm gonna break this down because there's a lot of receipts, and I'm gonna step away from opinion, and I'm gonna break down things.
I was.
Number one, illegal immigration is perpetrated by the UN. They want it because it's part of globalism. What is globalism? Globalism is the destruction of sovereignty and the mixture of people that will be run by a globalist, socialist elite. That's what globalism, that's what the foundation are. So the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab wearing that Star Wars, outfit, which was so weird, but I'm just commenting on what he was wearing, and Soros and everything. This is illegal immigration, globalism, hand in hand. And then they use climate change as a lever. Kofi Annan, if you go look at ChatGPT and you look for it, it's all been scrubbed. It has absolutely been scrubbed because Kofi Annan did say that climate change was a wonderful opportunity to redistribute wealth around the world. Exactly. From where? From the rich countries to the poor countries. What? Harmonizing everything under globalism. That's what it's all about. Trump was absolutely right about that. He's also right that all the UN does is write letters. Long ago, there was a very satirical movie that was very bad in a few ways, but called Team America. But there's this little scene where Hans Brix was the UN guy, and he comes walking in and he says, if you don't do what we say, we will be very upset. And then what? Well, we'll write you a letter telling you how upset we are. And then he pulls a lever and he drops him into a shark tank. That's what I think of you, you powerless Muppet, you know? And that commentary by Trey Parker, who is a conservative on certain levels, was correct. He's exactly correct. And that's what Trump was talking about. He's not talking about Team America, but he's making the same observation. These guys just write letters. And lastly, enough has been said about this, but I believe they were screwing with him with all the glitches and things that went on. I believe they were screwing with him. And is this the most important speech of our lifetimes? No, I don't think so. But it was a very important speech in Trump's administration after all the things he's tried to do, going to Alaska and getting people to talk, going to Iceland, all the things he's tried to do. And now he's going to the UN and saying, look, this is what I'm doing. And he's having to stand up to a lot of things having to stand up to allies of Europeans. He's having to stand up to the UN. He's having to stand up to a lot of things. And I think he's doing a great job with it. And he was drawing a line in the sand. That's what I think about it. And the UN, we should not misunderstand just how dangerous the UN is when it gets its own army. And it gets its own army through, we'll use white trucks that say UN. It'll be a peacekeeping force where they borrow soldiers, men and women in arms from all these countries, and you put them in the white trucks as an army following an agenda, not about the countries they come from, but the UN's agenda. To me, that's dangerous. And so, Woodrow Wilson, League of Nations, all the things that started this is the horrible, polluted downstream pond of good intentions of getting international countries to work together.
I fully agree with Tom. I want to ask you a question. Don't take this the wrong way. What was a more important speech than this? The only one I can think of was Reagan, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Well, you said in our lifetime.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot that's happened.
Well, there's a little bit.
Tom's
a little bit age gap here. A lot of people don't remember that. I'm not messing with you. Name another important
Always
speech.
Messing with me.
Tom, name another important speech like this. I believe this was the most important speech for where the world is today. Calling out the UN.
How about fourscore?
Tom wasn't there for fourscore 7 years ago, Pat.
I was in the bathroom at the time when Lincoln said this.
But seriously, you're knowledgeable about this. I literally.
By the way, you know what I love, guys? This is what I love. You posted a video yesterday of a few months back of me reacting to you saying, you're never going to get me to vote for Trump, right?
Yeah.
And then in my reaction, I say, I don't think people realize how big of a Trump supporter Adam is today. Like literally insane Trump supporter. I love the fact that this message got you the way it did, which, by the way, I do think it's a very important message because he is coming back and saying, I told you it was going to happen. And by the way, this is Adam from 4 years ago. Go ahead. Listen to this. Rob, it's going to take a long time. Don't worry about it.
No, I got it.
Doesn't
Let me
bring
go
that
back
out
to
of
the question
people at all.
For the fifth time. This is where the audience gets upset sometimes because you don't answer questions.
No matter what you
For the
say,
fifth
you're not
time.
going to convince me to vote for fucking Trump.
So
whatever.
By the way,
whatever way you want to pose the question, I'm not going to say you got it.
So this is
Big Matt too.
This is what's happening.
If you go to the post, I titled it. I said I'm willing.
Yeah, I know.
To be reasonable.
Yeah.
Which is power versus
but
force.
You changed. That's the part.
Yeah, well,
you didn't have it at first. Then you were willing.
And I think a lot of people need to understand that.
Yeah.
There's so many people filled with rage that I can't believe Trump.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest Trump fan at this point because I was willing to be like, well, maybe, they were lying. Oh my God. Because I was willing to reason and be reasonable.
And you know what this example is, folks? I mean, at least for me. The example is the fact that you need patience, okay? You need reason. You're not going to get them all, but you're going to get some of them. You'll get many of them, many. Even some stubborn guys that were former hardcore Jewish athlete in Miami that was on the Kim Kardashian wedding with celebrity that half the girls in Miami, the guys who date someone in Miami, before they marry them, they text one guy.
Relax.
Even if that's the guy. Okay, I'm just telling you, right? Even if it's like people can change. But, there's limits to Adam's change. Buying a car, not good for society. Getting married, having a family, kids, too much
But
pressure.
being reasonable, I think, is one of them. And I want to thank you.
Can I answer your question real
too
quick?
much of a stretch. Go ahead, Tom.
I think Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream, and I think JFK.
Nobody was alive then, Tom. Were you alive then?
Very much so.
Oh, wow.
And I also think, and by the way, and shortly thereafter, I went to a Vietnam funeral. So, yeah, pick on me. I think when JFK, his inaugural address about ask not what you can do, what your country can do for you, ask what you do for your country, and establishing the Peace Corps, I think that was huge. I think I agree with you. Reagan at the Berlin Wall was internationally there. But I really think Martin Luther King had a dream. And then when JFK stood at Rice University and said, I challenge us to use our ingenuity to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade.
Okay, so I should have said in my lifetime. Because in your lifetime,
little more.
JFK,
Can we just
MLK,
skip
and
with
according to
this age
PBD,
stuff, guys?
Abraham Lincoln.
Can we skip this age stuff? Can we just you know what? Why don't you take a Tylenol, Tom and Adam? Why don't you do that?
You know what?
No, why don't you? Because
Take a chill pill.
apparently we can take a Tylenol moving forward. And this whole Tylenol story is a very, very interesting story. So they found, guys, this is very interesting. Tylenol links autism to acetaminophen, okay, used during pregnancy, which we have to show that clip of the president trying to pronounce it.
Like, that's
he's got a little bit of Middle Eastern in him because he has a hard time saying it, just like I do.
I'm
right?
actually impressed that you got the acetaminophen.
Despite decades of evidence that it's safe. This is CNN's article. Okay, so let me read this first, which is great because then we'll go to Trump. We'll go to the president. So President Donald Trump announced Monday that U.S. Food and Drug Administration will be notifying physicians that the use of Tylenol during pregnancy can be associated with an increased level of autism. They are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol during pregnancy use unless medically necessary. He said Trump specified that women should not use it during pregnancy unless medically necessary, such as fever. Trump made the announcement from the Oval Office alongside U.S. Health Human Services, U.S. Food and Drug Administration Commissioner, all these other guys that were there with him. Thank Kennedy, the man who brought this issue to the forefront of American politics along with me. He added, we understood a lot more than a lot of people who studied it, and it's considered over-the-counter, this breaking news story, and they will be updating. So this is from CNN. Now here's President Trump. Go for it.
Effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of well, let's see how we say acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol.
That's so
During
good,
pregnancy
dude.
can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol.
Can you go back to the actual moment? Rob, go when he first sees the word. Go.
They will be notifying physicians that the use of well, let's see how we say that.
Oh, God.
Well, moving on.
Rob, you can stop it.
That's
Pat,
so good,
Pat,
dude. That's
I
comedy
guarantee you
gold
when
right
he was
there.
done and they're behind.
Why would you make me
He's
say
like,
it?
who did it?
Why
Just
would
put
you?
Tylenol.
So he says that, but then Tylenol responds back, and this is what Tylenol had to say. Rob, do you have the one where the folk Tylenol maker responds to Trump plans to link everyday drug to autism, and they push back against the Trump administration claim that the painkiller causes autism, branding it dangerous, and insisting a drug remains the safest option for pain and fever relief on pregnant women. In a press conference later today, the administration said, okay, so they're going to, we stand with many public health and medical professionals who have reviewed this science and agree we will continue to explore options to protect health interests in American women and children. The Trump administration and Health and Human Services have made it a top priority to tackle America's rising autism rates, with 1 in 31 children now estimated to have condition compared to 1 in 150 children in 2000. That was just 25 years ago. Rob, which clip is this?
This is Trump talking about Cubans and them not being able to afford Tylenol,
yes.
lack of autism there.
Go for it.
This country is going through what parts of the world are going through. And I will say there are parts of the world that don't take Tylenol. I mean, there's a rumor, and I don't know if it's so or not, that Cuba, they don't have Tylenol because they don't have the money for Tylenol, and they have virtually no autism, okay? Tell me about that one. And there are other parts of the world where they don't have Tylenol, where they don't have autism. That tells you a lot.
Okay, so here's a tweet from 8 years ago from Tylenol. Rob, if you can go to the Twitter. Yeah, this is from Tylenol from 8 years. Their actual account.
Weird.
Zoom in a little bit, Rob.
Oh, my
Direct
goodness.
warning from Tylenol. This is March 7th of 2017. Trump was president. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concern today. From Tylenol, okay? 8 years ago. Now, do you have highlight reels of a bunch of pregnant women taking Tylenol just to kind of piss off people?
I have a video. Hang on.
Let's see what you got.
I have one of those.
There's pregnant woman right there. Yeah.
actual
Watch
women?
this.
Like, dude, she's like, what, 6 months, 7 months? Where's she at? Oh, my God. That kid's like, Mom, no, please.
I'm just happy she's not having an abortion.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Well,
Like,
maybe she is now.
bro, look at the size of that pill, too.
Well, she's got a gun.
Size
on
of
her
that
arm.
belly.
She's Second Amendment at least.
Yeah,
Pro-Second
at least
Amendment.
she's pro-Second Amendment.
All right.
Is that not like?
But there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of videos like that of pregnant women taking Tylenol. Rob, I'll send you a couple of them. Vinny, your thoughts on this?
I mean, Adam made a great point, and it's like the Trump derangement syndrome. Like they have to do a study, and I'm not joking. It has to be put in the medical books because there's actually something wrong. It's a phenomenon of absolute. He broke something in their brain. It's not like anything that he says It's the they'll do the complete opposite. So if he's smart, he should tell everybody, whoever's going to be the 2028 frontrunner, he should say, hey, I think you guys should vote for Gavin Newsom, and they'll go the opposite. It's a complete opposite. And how is it as a mother, you have a child in your stomach, and it's not like Donald Trump is doing the report. You have the freaking RFK, you have all the people in the health department saying, guys, we've done the studies, and it's, these kids the autism rates are up. And I know it's kind of, saying it's kind of insensitive about the whole, Cuban thing, but numbers don't lie. Their numbers are down. You know who also doesn't have high numbers of autism? The Amish. You know why? They don't take any drugs. Rob, do you have like a stat of Amish children with autism? Adam, it's almost nothing because they're not pumping them with vaccines. They're not giving them all this shit. They're not giving them Tylenol. You got a headache? Go deal with it, Jebediah, or whatever they call whatever they call the kids.
No, that's literally their name.
I think it's Jebediah.
What is that?
No, the
That's
kid,
what their
the
names
Amish
are.
kid.
Really? That's what they call him?
Jebediah or
No, you're
Esau or
keep
something
going.
like that.
You got this. You got
so
this.
You're making up an ethnic name that's typical Amish.
Of an Amish name,
like
but
Joe.
Like for a white guy.
For the Amish community, Pat, a name like Jebediah would be like a Steve or a Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Thank you, Tom.
and then
I was confused for a second too.
is this what he's saying, Rob, about the
Yes, about the Amish.
But this is a fact. Go ahead.
And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism.
What's the number?
That have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest that, with the Amish, for example.
The Amish, virtually. I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says. And by the way, I
Trump
think I
is
can
not
say
PC.
Yeah.
So
apparently, one preliminary study. This is from IMFAR. That children in Amish-dominated countries estimated the prevalence about 1 in 271 children on the autism spectrum. I think ours is what?
So
how much?
it says here a study. Cuba does report autism cases, but at lower cases than in the U.S. A 2015 Cuban study estimated that autism in their country was 1 in 2,500 children.
Wow.
Compared to 1 to 36.
Wow.
Rob, can you ask this question? Okay, I'm going to text you the question to ask. I want you to ask it, Rob. If you want to just go and ask, is it true that the Amish and Cubans don't have autism? Just an open-ended question, okay? And it gives me this data that in Cuba, 1 in 2,500, okay? U.S. at this time, it says 1 in 36, although the numbers in some places is even higher, okay? Then it continues, the big gap may reflect differences in diagnostic practices, reporting and awareness, and then neither, okay. Yeah, so this is stuff that they don't want to be reporting. They don't want to be reporting. They don't want to be talking about this. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Well, there are receipts, and nobody wants to talk about it. And there's also threats of lawsuits. What I want to know is why were the marketing people at Tylenol in 2017 instructed to put out a tweet that said any of our products, plural. What's plural? Well, there's what's called blends, and they take acetaminophen.
You're also dealing with it?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Tylenol.
What is this thing? And they blend it. Tylenol PM, and there's various blends there for sleep and for things like this, which is the acetaminophen with other compounds, chemical compounds. I won't call them drugs, but is what it is. And so sometime in 2017, somebody told, and I'll tell you who told, the frickin' lawyers inside and the compliance people inside whoever makes Tylenol. Is that Bristol Myers Squibb? I'm not sure. Tells them to go put that tweet out. So why do they put the tweet out? So that someday they can sit there if they're in court and they could say, well, in 2017, there was a concern, so we did put out a tweet. Yeah, but you also said, no, we didn't say it wasn't there. Let's read. Fun with words. We didn't say it. They said the studies, they didn't say we. They say we believe independent sound science shows. We believe independent sound science. We believe when we stand with the public health and medical professionals who reviewed the science, they're not saying that their own internal research incontrovertibly says it's wrong. You see what they're doing, Vinny? This is the way that the pharmaceutical industry works. The Amish have a lower incidence. The Cubans have a lower incidence. The receipts are out there. World populations that don't have massive, vaccination campaigns for their children, and also don't have a lot of exposure to polio, measles, mumps, or rubella, so they don't do it. So what do I think? I think that this autism thing, we're at the tip of the iceberg. But let me tell you, there's too much money. There's money in the vaccinations, and there's a horrifying, pharmaceutical industry thinking that this is going to be the Oxycontin iceberg coming, more below the surface and above, and this is going to be the asbestos iceberg coming, where things have nearly bankrupted entire industries. But guess what? The receipts were there. I think there's something to this. I think the receipts are here. I think people are freaking out. And by the way, the president didn't just come to the microphone with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., thank you very much, Bobby, for nothing. He did it because they believe that they have a correlation. Maybe not causation, but they have a correlation. They're coming to the microphone and they're saying, look at what's going on. And this is not what the pharmaceutical industry wants. But guess what? You don't get a choice because there's receipts out there and we can see them, Pat.
Yeah, so then the question becomes, will they investigate this and go any deeper? Adam.
Rob, do you have that image I sent you?
By the way, it's like a starter pistol. Bang, and they're off. Do you know how many class actions are coming right now? Do you know the big time law firms are in conference rooms right now?
Wow, good point, Tom.
Yeah.
For sure, I would be.
Well,
Tylenol.
So this whole acetaminophen, Tylenol thing, it comes down to this to me. You see these videos of these women who are pregnant, the one we just showed that they're downing acetaminophen as a sign of defiance. You can't tell me what to do, Trump. Imagine hating Trump so much that you'd be willing to harm your own unborn child or your own children just to oppose Trump. Imagine that.
Her body, her choice.
And then you see all these stories, these articles for years and years and years, essentially validating what Trump just said. Pediatrics, the list goes on here. Basically saying, hey, you're pregnant, chill out with the acetaminophen, with Tylenol. Years and years and years of research. But they're not worried about that. Filled with hate and rage for Trump. Trump derangement syndrome, which reminds me of a quote from Golda Meir. So weird tie-in together. She was the former prime minister of Israel, and she talked about how can we get to peace? Because in this country, in America, we need peace. Left and the right, we need to get some synergy. And she said, I'll tell you how we'll get peace. When the Palestinians love their children more than they hate us. Because you see these videos of these Palestinian mothers willing to sacrifice their children, willing to martyr their children. There's a pay-for-slay policy there. What's my point? I'm tying this all together. When you're filled with hate and rage, you hate Trump so much, you're willing to down Tylenol as a sign of defiance. Saying, you can't tell me what to do, Trump. I will poison my baby to defy you, Trump. Imagine that mindset. Calm down,
So can I ask you a question? It's my body, my choice, right? When it comes to the left, it's my body, my choice. These are statistical facts that the potential of harming your child is there, Pat.
Yeah.
How is that? Nobody's going to stick up for this kid. Like, how do you think the mother of that girl, these idiots, these brainwashed idiots feel like, sweetie, did you not see the CDC? They're up there saying we shouldn't be doing this. What are you doing?
And by the way, you know when they know that they were about to come after autism, do you know what was on the cover of a Time magazine special last month? Rob, can you type in Time magazine autism and then just go to images? This is a month ago, okay? A month ago, Time magazine did a special, okay? Can you put the date on it, on when it is? Do you see it? This just came out a month ago. And I bought this a month ago. I bought it because one of my friends has an autistic kid.
Down in the barcode.
Yep. And
look at
I
that.
bought it for him. They don't even have it there. Yeah, this literally just came out a month ago. And so they know, Time knows, others know this is coming. There's an issue with this. New research, new knowledge, reality versus myth, understanding the journey, a mother's story. I'm excited that we're going this direction because it's unfair for a kid to have to go through it that didn't have to. For parents to have to raise a kid that at the end of the day, for parents, they love their kids just like any other parent loves their kids. Of course, it's your kid. But parents are just taking what doctors recommend them to do. And doctors are recommending what other doctors are recommending. That is, well, it's FDA approved. Well, it's what others say. Well, it's what others take. And there's very little questioning being done. I'm glad they're doing this. And hopefully we'll learn more as we're going through this process. Folks, if you ever run for office and you come out with a book and you want to know what not to do, I just want to give you a couple examples of what not to do. Please take some notes on some of you guys that are having plans of running for office. And you realize, I don't know if there's anybody. Which one is this, Rob? This is...
So she's on the... Kamala Harris is on The View.
Yeah.
I have her on The View. I also have her with Rachel Maddow, where she's talking about the reason why she lost the 2020 election was because it was a short race for her.
Have we reacted to any of this yet, Rob, or no?
No, we haven't.
Okay, Rob. Just play a couple of these. They're on. I'm being honest with you guys. Watch the ratings on the podcast. When you play her,
people get off.
No, I'm telling you.
Are you serious?
Vinny, I get off. I'm like, it's and nothing. This is not the case with Obama. Obama's a great speaker. Bill Clinton's a great speaker.
Yeah.
It's not like it's everybody.
Yeah.
Newsom is a
Phenomenal,
great communicator.
Of course.
Yeah.
She is the worst candidate
Ever.
in the history of my lifetime. Let me correct. I don't want to say Tom's lifetime, but in my lifetime, the single worst candidate
Okay.
they've ever put up.
I'm watching our numbers
And
right
we
now.
know how you
It's
feel about
as
Jimmy
if-
Carter.
This is like, Rob, this is the highlight reel of her saying the same thing in 3 different shows. Go ahead.
A president of the United States running for re-election. Current sitting president is running for re-election. Running for re-election. 3.5 months from the election, decides not to run. 3.5 months from the election, he decides not to run. 3.5 months before the election, decides not to run. With 107 days to go. With 107 days. With 107 days to go. And it ended up being the closest presidential election in the 21st century.
Wow.
What is this closest?
So 2020 Gore versus Bush doesn't count. Sorry.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You said
Right.
the
Tom, great
closest
point.
Ever. Who allowed, who
Yeah.
didn't correct it? So what do you mean closest? Dude, you lost every single state, the battleground state.
Swing state.
Every
Yeah.
county became more Republican. Every state became more Republican. There has never been a candidate that's done more for the Republican Party than Kamala Harris. Ever. Kamala, you are the greatest candidate Republicans ever had on the opposing side.
Yep.
You converted more people to the Republican Party away from the Democratic Party. You get credit for that. She should actually put that like the greatest converted to Republicans ever, Kamala Harris. What she did 107 days, the Republican Party couldn't do for 40 years. You're the GOAT. I mean, you crushed it.
She really
you
is.
got to be proud of that on what you did.
Pat, we just lost 5,000
No,
viewers.
I'm telling you, people
No.
don't like listening to her when she speaks. Rob, play one other clip.
Oh,
Honestly, I
God.
don't want to give people a hard time today.
I know. People are making
By the way,
breakfast
she
right now.
showed that she's homophobic because she didn't choose Pete Buttigieg because she said, well, that's not correct. I didn't say that, but it was because of this. And then Pete Buttigieg has to come back and respond. Rob, do you have Pete Buttigieg's response to Kamala Harris? Do you have that one?
No, I can find that.
She said he was.
Pat, did you see her book? Look
She
at the
was-
book
While you're
reviews.
looking up, remember, Pete was elected mayor
Little
of
one-star
a
Rob.
red city in a red state of Indiana.
yeah.
So obviously, people even in a red state thought Pete was okay.
Can we see the one review, Rob? I'm sorry, the number one. What's the 1 star say? 39% 1 star. What's the reviews? Are there any, can you click on
But
it?
what's interesting, she only has 29 reviews. Now the book came out yesterday, but you'd think if she was
It's normal. This is not, this is very normal.
But what's the one say? Save your money. Full of lies, misinformation, including the suckers and losers hoax. Save your money. What's the other one? Inauthentic, unreadable.
customer.
Had to
Look at
stop
the ones that
halfway
actually
through, which
bought
I
it.
never do. I was looking forward to this book, but unfortunately, who's looking forward to the Kamala book?
Yeah.
What is?
Well, I mean, look, I'm not. I don't even put a lot of thought into that. All I'm saying is, if you have the Pete Buttigieg respond, it's so bad that Pete had to respond and say, "Dude, what are you talking about?" So she threw Biden under the bus.
Yep.
She made a story about the fact that Newsom didn't respond back for a phone call. I don't know if
Yep.
you saw that
Yeah,
one. That
yeah.
Newsom
I
didn't
saw-
get back.
yep.
She then talks about the fact that it wasn't responsible. It was unfair. And then here's what Pete had to say. Go ahead,
I
Pete.
just had the chance to talk to former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, and asks him to respond to former Vice President Kamala Harris's latest book excerpt published by The Atlantic, in which she says that his picking him as her vice president would have been far too big a risk, and that America wasn't quite ready for a gay vice president alongside a black woman president. Here's what he told me.
Well, I was surprised when I read that. I just believe in giving Americans more credit than that. My experience in politics has been that the way that you earn trust with voters is based mostly on what they think you're going to do for their lives, not on categories. And I wouldn't have run for president if I didn't believe that. I was right here in Indiana when this state turned blue for the first time since LBJ, and it wasn't Bill Clinton who did it. It wasn't John Kerry who did it. That happened in 2008 when Barack Obama was leading the ticket. And just again and again, my personal experience getting reelected in South Bend and a lot of other things have just shown me that.
What a great communicator.
You just have to go to voters.
You gotta give him credit.
He is so good,
such
man.
a good
He really is.
communicator,
And thank you for
right?
saying that.
No, he's such a good communicator. Adam, go ahead. I know this is your community. Go
We would have let him
your
say
thoughts.
crazy wench once, right? We would have given him a pass on that. That
No.
crazy wench said what?
Yeah. So Kamala Harris says that
pickled woman.
She drinks.
No, keep going.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know
love
the
pickle.
what is that pickle thing? Go ahead.
Pickle
Keep
means
going.
you drink. And
Oh,
she
my
looks
bad.
like she's
Okay.
had a couple.
Well, Kamala Harris obviously is no fan of gay people because
Well, she
if
is,
you-
though, actually.
I don't know
I'll show you
because
a video of her at the
if
White
you
House.
have the choice of picking Pete Buttigieg, who, regardless of his sexual orientation, is a great communicator,
phenomenal,
great communicator, and you go with Tampon Tim Walz. Clearly, you might have a problem of being a little bit biased. Stephen A. Smith went on the View many months ago, and he goes, "Oh, this was an ass whooping. She thought it was close. This was a mandate. 7 of 7 states, every county turned Republican. Bing, bing, bing." The View was like, "Oh my God." So when you have the opportunity to go with someone like Pete Buttigieg, but you go with Tampon Tim, who's best known for ruining Minnesota, the great state of Minnesota, I may add, where my mom's from, the home of George Floyd and riots, and Ilhan Omar, who I would argue is the most destructive congressperson in America, and you're like, nah, forget the gay guy. Give me the dude that's putting tampons in bathrooms. You might have a problem with Kamala Harris.
I have something I'm going to send to Rob, Pat, real quick, because I have to respond to this Kamala Harris situation. By the way, I just want to reiterate, I have to say this out loud.
What a great picture. Like, if you're a man, like trying to pose as a man, that's how you, fellas, you know how you go take a photo shoot for Instagram? That's the most masculine, manly pose out there.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's one of the weirdest guys. Adam, you make a great point.
That's like dancing to, like, if you were to think what song is he dancing to, I would say Mary Poppins. No?
Oh, that's a dancing queen.
Not what's
She
popular.
was
No.
17. With
So
the sound.
it's not Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow was
Rob, I
popping.
slacked you. But listen, can we just take a moment? And I know, Pat, like she's the best thing that ever happened to the Republican Party. But can we just take a second and how lucky we are as Americans that she did not become the president of the United States, guys? Because we
would have had more content.
Way more content, but we would have been.
No, we wouldn't have had more content.
Pat would have been horrible.
She would have never spoken to the public.
Never spoken to the public. The border would have still been wide open. You think she'd be able to make all these deals and tariffs? And guys, count your every single day. If you're at home right now, get on your hands and knees and pray and say thank you to God. But how many L's can you have in one interview? Besides calling him gay, by the way, she was worried that Pete would face discrimination for being gay and hurt her campaign. So guess what she did? She discriminated against him for being gay. By the way, Adam, when you said she doesn't, or gays, she's not into gays. Do you remember this for Pride Month? This is the queer.
She's more into trans than gays.
This was at the White House.
Stop it.
Look at this. This is the guy with the beard.
Stop
hold
it
on,
right now,
hold on.
Vincent.
What happened to the audio, Rob?
There's music, so I don't want to get.
Well, I'll do that. I'll do that. Oh my
Who's that
God! Oh
chick?
my God!
She's cute.
Hot.
I
No,
like
that's
that
me.
girl.
That's me with a beard, with long hair, and that's his hot. Like, listen.
Yeah,
this
she's
is
into
my-
she's into the T.
Yeah.
She just probably isn't into the G.
And then this is
Who's
what,
this chick?
By the way, anyway, so and then one thing, Pat, we didn't show. She called Donald Trump a tyrant and a
have that.
communist dictator. Yeah, could you show this one?
That is.
In the interviews?
Yes, yesterday when she was
A
on
tyrant.
Rachel Maddow. Here it is.
Yo, let's show this
And
one.
right now, we are dealing with, as I called him at my speech on the ellipse, a tyrant.
Here we go. Not so.
We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump.
And mind you, stop, Rob.
And
Guess who she just turned around and said that she's supporting? Mom Donnie in New York. She goes,
Obviously.
he's a Democrat. Yeah, he's a
Obviously.
freaking communist. Oh my God.
Look, she had this chick give a speech at the White House.
Be respectful.
That's a guy. That's a guy. That's not a chick. That's a guy,
What do you
Adam.
mean?
Adam, that's a guy with luxurious
If she
hair.
identified
By the
as
way,
a woman,
acts-
it's a
honestly,
woman.
Be honest. You know what it looks like?
Me?
It looks like if Ben Affleck had a cousin that's transgender. No? Yes or no?
It does look like
Ben Affleck's
Jen
transgender
Affleck.
cousin.
It looks like Jen Affleck.
Jen Affleck.
Well, I mean,
she's
look,
a joke.
it is what it is. It's
a
just,
joke.
folks, I hope you took notes. Don't campaign like that.
Ever.
Okay? Don't campaign like that.
Ever.
It's a big turnoff, but it is what it is. All right, let me get to the next story here. So the next story I want to get into is Bill Maher is sitting down with Rob Reiner. And Rob Reiner is trying to tell Bill what criteria that we need to create when it comes down to talking to the GOP. And this is what Bill did very quickly. Go ahead, Rob.
This would make some sense for the Democrats if they had any power. But the idea of we don't talk to you when we don't even have the power, of course you have to talk to people. I mean, there was an article somebody wrote. He was.
But here's the thing. You're right. But here's the thing. Let's say we're going to have that argument. You're going to try to talk to somebody and you have a point of view. The other person has a point of view. Before you have the exchange, you have to agree on certain facts.
No, you don't. You can't. Once
Like
you start
a-
down
like
that
a man
road,
is a woman?
It's like these are. You just
I'm
have
not
to
saying-
talk to people.
No, you talk to people. But if somebody says 2 + 2 is 4 and the other guy says, no, it's not, how do you begin the discussion?
Because Rob, that's a slippery slope. It just. I agree. There are certain things that we all think, and then there are people. I'm sorry. Everybody. I know this from doing this show. So many people who've sat here and they're like, oh, this is a smart person. This is a rational person. And then there's like one thing. They don't believe we landed on the moon. And you're just like, no, if you start down that road, if I can't talk to you, if you believe this crazy thing, because maybe.
Okay, so
you
let's
just
say
can't.
Okay, Adam, thoughts on this?
Oh my God. I want to show you one text, PBD. Just the beginning of the text. Can I just take a look at this?
Yes.
Look at the first sentence that he says. What does it say?
Last night was great.
Stop it.
Wow.
Oh,
I can't
I'm
believe it.
so sore.
Let me see what it says.
No, that
We're
was
all
it,
laughing
right?
at the text that he got from people.
What does it say?
Funny.
You want me to read it or don't
just
read
read
it?
the first text.
Actually read
Yeah,
it.
just the first.
Seriously, Nick Fuentes kept it real.
Okay.
All right.
So he's basically like, seriously, bro? So I get this text it's the first text ever from this guy. So this is a family member, awesome guy.
Yeah.
Black guy, cool guy, married to a cousin of mine. She's Jewish. They have mixed kids. He's a stud.
Whoa.
We would love him. I'm just saying. And I see him, unfortunately, recently at my stepfather's funeral, right? So this was 2 months ago. And we're embracing, and he's like, literally, he goes, so what have you been up to, man? I haven't seen you in years. I go, I'm just, doing this little podcast thing. It's cool. Little podcast. You got like some viewers? I'm like, yeah, we're like pretty big, man. Like we're top 10 podcast. And he goes, what? Like he had no clue. He goes, dude, my bad, bro. I'm not on social media. I'm not on nothing, but I'm going to check you out. And all of a sudden he comes up to this is the first text. He goes, Nick Fuentes? What? What is going on here? And then he basically starts going down the rabbit hole. He goes, I've been looking. He's like, Pat was with Rogan, and then you're with Andrew Tate. You have Candace, and I saw you do stuff with Ben Shapiro, and then you got the Young Turks thing going on, and you have Cuomo and Dave Smith and Dave Rubin and Tucker, and he's like, who in the hell are you? Who are you guys? And I go, yeah, it's pretty simple. We'll talk to anybody. We'll have conversations with anyone. And he's like, well, I know you're pro-Israel, and I go, I am. But you sit down with Nick Fuentes? Yeah. Why would Pat do this? I go, well, I actually interviewed Nick Fuentes over a year ago. You would do that? Yes, I would. But you've sat down with Candace? Yeah, I have. Would you sit? Yes, we will. We believe in speaking with everybody. And he's such a nice guy. Have you met him? But his brain is kind of like doing a pretzel right now. But that's my point. We're willing to talk to everybody. And I encourage everybody out there to do the same.
Yeah. And you know who else does, which to me, he's gained a lot of respect from a lot of people and a lot of hate, is Bill Maher.
Oh, yeah.
You know, say what you say. I mean, when I was on, I didn't speak. I was texting people. I read a book when I was there. I watched a couple courses. He talked 90%. It was more of a therapy.
How much do you think he's changed since then?
I don't know. I don't know. Look, he's at an age that you don't change that much. At the older you have certain things that are clear. But I will tell you, he is very open and he's very willing. And you got to respect him for it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to respect him for it on what he's done.
He'll call out the other his side.
Will. He
but
will.
He won't vote he won't vote Republican. He'll get to the 50-yard line and be like, encroachment.
He still has Trump.
Yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
he has Trump derangement syndrome, but it's like it's kind of going away. It's not where you're at, but he has flashbacks that you're like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Just take some
Tylenol. Take some Tylenol.
Let me get to this next thing here. Let me get to the next thing here. So, Google admits censorship pressure from Biden administration, pledges to reinstate YouTube accounts. I wonder who. Okay, but here's what just happened with YouTube and Google, which, by the way, props to them. Go ahead, Rob. Play this clip.
For all the talk over the last couple of days about the FCC and Jimmy Kimmel and free speech, there was a fascinating admission today from Google. Today, they admitted to censoring people under the Biden administration. The big tech giant says it was pressed by the Biden White House to remove content from YouTube that did not, I repeat, did not violate policies. The company now says it was unacceptable and wrong and says it will not use third-party, quote, fact checkers again. It comes as Google announces it will reinstate YouTube channels that were permanently banned for political speech.
Okay, so as you're going through this, so they're going through their changes. According to the letter, Google will allow creators banned for political speech on COVID-19 elections and related issues an opportunity to return to the platform. The company emphasized that the public debate should never come at the expense of relying on authorities. Google also said that it will not rely on third-party fact checkers. We will never use third-party fact checkers. And instead, the company committed to transparency in its own enforcement policy. The company further explained that future enforcement would rely on clear and consistent standards rather than shifting demands from the outside actors. Google said it would publish more information about how policies are developed and applied. Tom.
Let me translate. I'm going to do some translation here.
Please.
Vinny, you ever have your dad would say something?
My dad hasn't been around.
And then, no.
He never said anything.
Vinny, when you were
have
young.
a little respect.
And then you go talk to your mom and say, let me translate what your dad was really saying.
Kind of sympathy.
Remember that? And he would say, he's very upset about this and this, and you ought to listen to it, right?
Yeah.
Let me translate for you.
Please.
I'm going to do a little translation here. Google announced that it took down accounts and everything and is directly blaming the Biden administration when, under the Trump administration, the Federal Trade Commission decided not to break their ass up and make them sell Chrome to someone else, which they almost did because there was guys with billion-dollar checks sitting in the parking lot that we've already covered, and they were about to get Chrome divested. So in exchange for the monopoly thing, as they were leaving Congress, and this is my supposition and interpretation, this is the opinion of Tom Ellsworth, the BizDoc, that's what happened. As they were leaving, they said, wait, there's one more thing. You get to keep Chrome, but you got to put all these people back on and you got to talk about the censorship thing. Well, that was the fault of the Biden administration. Perfect! Make that announcement. I believe this is all tied together because it was Jim Jordan that was busting their petunias hard, on this thing. And now the Federal Trade Commission is leaving Google alone. They have to do certain things, but they're not getting broken up as a monopoly.
Point.
And they're coming out to the microphone and saying, I'm sorry.
Got it. So to you, but by the way, if you were running it, would you have made the same position they're taking now?
If I was at the Federal Trade Commission, I would have made them apologize for even more. I would have pushed even further. But this I would have got. I would absolutely have got.
Okay, got it. So,
Isn't it kind of funny, though, to you that this whole past week, okay, every Democrat has been crying about Jimmy Kimmel being fired for free speech. And guess what this bombshell basically says? That the Biden administration used Google, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to silence our freaking side. How is that? Where are you at? I want to see one video or one of you losers crying.
I love your passion. There's 2 words. I'll go really fast.
Do it.
Word number 1. Oh, Brandon Carr influenced the decision of the FCC. No, the Biden administration told.
Exactly. They told them what to do. So it's like, then admit, but think about this, guys. They went after COVID content, as we know, questioning the mask, lockdowns, vaccine side effects, or promoting alternative treatments, okay? Like what Rogan was going through, all right? They did election content, claims of fraud, videos of ballot drops. Do you remember?
Don't forget Russiagate.
Russiagate, obviously, but they were putting up those, people were watching counters. They were blocking their vision, and if you reposted that, they took your stuff down. My old channel got a strike for it, okay? Mail-in ballots, all the machines. And then remember, guys, I did some digging yesterday. Do you remember when Gateway Pundit got banned for posting a 3 a.m. video during the election of vans dropping off ballots in Detroit? Do you guys remember that? Well, guess what?
Yep.
Now over 1 million Detroit election documents have been forced open through FOIA, and groups are digging in. Lawsuits are still live by Trump, and indictments are brewing, and Trump has called for a special counsel. So when we say they cheated and we couldn't even say it live, well, guess what? Now it's coming. Okay, now it's coming. And we knew it. They erased everything from COVID. Anyone that said something stunk about the election, they were taken off. So you know what? What does YouTube say? Okay, come back now, and here's my point. No. Okay? That's not justice. That's just cover up, clean up. And my 2 words for this year, Tom, one was...
That's a good way for it. It was cover up, now clean up.
Clean up. And you helped me with, obviously, with my Christianity, Tom, and reading the Bible and everything. 2 words that have been my words for this year. One is surrender. You said, Vinny, you have to surrender. All the stuff that you're worrying about your life and this and drinking, surrender to God, and everything in my lifetime has been going positive. Yeah, I have problems. Yes, I sin, but you helped me with that. Number 1. Number 2, accountability. Okay, people lost revenue. Like we're doing well, but imagine the people that
they lost their businesses.
Revenue, businesses, reach, credibility, and the other side called us crazy. So if there's no lawsuits, if there's no back pay, if there's no indictments or class action lawsuit, then none of it is doing anything. You don't get to crush half the country and then just whistle away walking pad. Somebody has to pay. I love the coming clean. Yeah, you apologize, whatever. Somebody has to pay. Period.
Well, remember we were at the inauguration and we were at that party. It was the YouTube party.
Yes.
Google. And we're there. We're hanging with the Nelk boys, John Shahidi, Kyle from the Nelk boys, and obviously you know who was in the room, the Daily Wire crew.
Everybody was there.
Yeah, I mean, literally it was the top.
Yes.
Sundar.
Top. And Kyle from the Nelk Boys looks at me, and they're playing videos of Trump. They're playing videos of when Trump was on Rogan, when Trump was on PBD, when Trump was on the Nelk Boys, when Trump was on Ben Shapiro. And he looks at me and he goes, "You think if Trump would have won, Trump would have lost, we'd be having this party? No. Think if Kamala would have won, you think we'd all be finished? We'd all be finished.
Done."
That's what he says, and I'm like, it's a very good point. It's kind of like. And also regarding COVID, I remember, I don't want to put too much out there, but we used to have conversations 2020, 2021 about what should we talk about? Should we not? We got a strike on the channel. Do you remember that? I think we got to 2 strikes. And we had people that were part of the show. They were like, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. I go, guys, 3 strikes, we're out. We got 2 strikes here. You might be right. You could be wrong. But your opinion is not more important than the channel. There were some people, patriots you may call them, that said, no, I'm willing to sacrifice my channel for what I think was right.
Truth.
And now, 4 years later, 5 years later, they're like, yeah, you can have your channels back. 5 years later?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's kind of like, you know what it is? You see these things of like the wrongfully accused. It's like, based on DNA evidence, actually, I know you've been in jail for 27 years, but turns out based on DNA, you actually didn't do it. Well, welcome back to the real world, and here's 10 grand. Go out there. And the guy's like, oh, I just spent 27 years in jail, and now I can get back out here again? It's very reminiscent of that. Well, thank you for making right what should be right, guys, but a lot of people got caught up in day late, dollar short. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of people's lives were destroyed. Truthfully, a lot of people's lives were destroyed. A lot of people's business models were destroyed. A lot of people experienced some bad things, and this is how Rumble was born. It's a part with capitalism. Rumble was born, and You know, it'll be very interesting to see how this opening, you know, in what ways Rumble's going to try to find a blue ocean for themselves to go next, because part of it was we're open to everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so it's going to be very, very interesting as you're going through this next phase. You got to give respect to Rumble, because Rumble never kept anything. They're like, look, you guys can come and talk here. And they made it available to everybody, even though, you know, we're not on there. But they did a phenomenal job during that time. And we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen here. I think
Stay tuned for the settlements.
Wow, interesting.
For YouTube?
Oh, yeah, there's going to be suits.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
How big?
If I was a law firm, I'd be gathering up the small businesses that absolutely failed and the personal bankruptcies.
YouTube channels?
This is in the billions. This is in the billions. This is way up there.
Yeah.
What's it called when there's a collective
class
action lawsuit?
Yeah.
That's you
now,
think
the only
that's what's
thing
going to
they're
happen?
hiding behind is we were told by the government, so we did nothing illegal.
Exactly.
Yeah. So but there's got to be a settlement somewhere.
So
So,
you
does that
think-
just does that redirect any settlements to the pockets of the taxpayers?
Great question, Tom. If they, let's say they do lose supposition, does Google pay? Does the social media, or does the government pay?
Google pays. Because look, anybody can tell you what to do. Many years ago, Apple was trying to, you know, Obama was trying to get that phone for the San Bernardino thing, and Apple wasn't cooperating. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Of course, I remember.
So guess what? That was government telling you, give me the phone. And I don't know whether they eventually did or not, but so it's still the business's responsibility.
So Google
to
could have
say,
said, sorry,
So in San Bernardino,
no.
Apple encryption dispute refers to 2016 legal and public dispute, which the FBI sought a court order from force Apple to create new software to bypass security features on iPhone used by San Bernardino attacker. While Apple argued this would create a dangerous master key and compromise user privacy security, the FBI dropped its case, and a third-party group found a way to unlock the phone. But the dispute highlighted ongoing tensions between law enforcement. So Apple said no. Apple said no to the government.
So you're saying Google could have said no to
Google could have
pressure?
said no. Of course you could have said no.
Wow.
Of course you could have said no. So imagine if somebody comes right now and says, I want to see your text exchange with, you know, we haven't committed a crime. So you have to know that those things are. Anyways, let me go to the next story here. So the would-be assassin for Trump tried to stab himself in the neck after guilty verdict.
Jeez.
With a pencil or a pen?
A pen. For one that's made not to be able to stab yourself, by the way. It's bendy.
Soft.
So he's just horrible at doing any killing, just
So,
FYI.
Oh, Jesus.
He is.
So
He's
Ryan
horrible.
Rao, 59-year-old accused of attempting to kill Donald Trump and a former future president, played a round of golf last year, the second attempt on Trump's life during the campaign, had been found guilty on all charges against him. Routh who represented himself, that's bad, at his federal trial in Fort Pierce, Florida, was facing 5 charges, including attempted assassination, major presidential candidate, assaulting a federal officer and possessing a firearm and ammunition as a felon, and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. Authorities say Roth created a sniper nest near the 6th green of Trump International Golf. U.S. attorneys rested their case on Friday after calling 38 witnesses, nearly 2 weeks of testimony, hundreds of exhibits, culminated with the final witness who pieced together how Roth was allegedly stalking Trump and collecting both physical and electronic evidence. And here's what happened. Go ahead, Rob.
Quite shocking. As the verdict was read,
himself.
it appeared to our producers
Soft
inside
pen.
the courtroom that Ruth tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen. That's what it appeared to look like. Then 4 marshals dragged him out of the courtroom, took his coat off. They then shackled him at the waist and ankles, and then they brought him back into the courtroom. So again, this just in from our producers, as the verdict was being read, Ruth tried to hurt himself in the neck with a pen. Now
Okay. So you see that. Then his daughter, furious daughter, and I think in a white dress or something like that, out with camera folks, media trying to talk to her, running out, upset. You did this. You did this. It's your fault. Do you have the video of that, Rob, of her running around?
Yes, right here.
Is this the one? It's a different angle, but let's see if this is the one. Go ahead.
Okay.
It was there just now.
No,
Not
there's a
only
better camera angle than that one. There's one that's facing her, not that one. No, this is in the white dress.
That was just get out of my face.
Right here.
That one.
This one?
It's
a longer
a different
one.
angle. It's a better. Okay,
She'll
let's
flip
see.
past. That's actually it, because it's
Go,
going to
do
keep
that
going,
one.
and then she's going to get to the car.
She's fast.
Yeah, she's very quick.
Look at that. I mean, you got to respect that speed.
leave me alone. You don't have any respect. Common respect, guys.
Yeah, but your dad tried to kill the president. That's respect.
He's close, though. It's super close.
So this is the daughter of Ryan Ralph.
You know, it's shocking that some of these cameramen don't suffer groin injuries.
Dude. No, this isn't the one. There's a better one. Anyway,
she gets in
that's
the
all
car
right.
here.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
see
yeah.
here, Rob. Back up a little bit.
Adam, that's your type, huh? Just hot, crazy.
Nah, that's you, bro.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Seems very civil and calm.
Out of my face.
Dude, she parked way too far. You could have Ubered.
We all go to hell.
Oh, wow.
This is a
All
great
your
commercial for
fault.
Uber or Lyft.
Lies.
We could do
Spreading
that.
lies about my father.
Spreading lies about my father.
Mira, tú que got.
You stand up. What do you mean by lies?
She had a potty
Where
mouth.
is the Uber? By the worst bodyguard, arms broken. The guy's not going to be able to protect you.
It's the one-armed man.
Maybe it's her husband or boyfriend.
Yeah.
Nice guy, though.
Anything you'd like to say?
Watch. Run him over.
One arm guy's trying to beef. Get your one arm in the
He's being
car.
nice. At least he's
he's being a sweetheart.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
See how he drives up. Good turn, backs up a
Look,
little
nice.
bit, doesn't touch the side.
Didn't even mess the rims up. Nice.
Goes smooth,
Nice.
doesn't peel out.
Didn't
because
signal.
That car's not capable of it, but it goes.
No signal.
And
To
there
a
you
red
go.
light, and then a red light.
Nice respect, and the cops right behind him. So, okay, what do you think about what's going on here with the story, Tom?
This is just come on.
I'm talking about the Ryan Rob, not the daughters, like her frustrations.
We see this all the time.
Yeah.
We see like certain parts of the cities, a young man gets arrested, and then my son would never do anything like that. You know, it's family members. I think we just got incredible stress. Cut him some slack. Look, you got a guy in there who obviously we've seen his writings, we've seen his testimony, we've seen things that he sure doesn't seem right. And he seems vengeful, and that mentally he's just not there. You know, they have these guys on suicide watch, and then they bring them in, and they allow them to sit in court where there's all these deputies and marshals and everything there. And he should have been, but you know, sometimes you see them in there, they're in orange, and they're off to the side, like in a little glass area, and they're still shackled because they don't want them to do anything. And so the sentencing's being read, so they allow him to apparently put on a jacket or some sort of suit so he can stand up and say, here's you're guilty on all these charges, and here's what's going on. And instead, he's like, okay, I'm out of here. He tries to hurt himself. That's tragic. That's horrible. But it's also not surprising. A crazy person did a crazy thing and tried to do an even crazier thing to themselves. That doesn't surprise me, but why wasn't he in the shackles, restrained because of who he is, and because we knew, man, they got psychological evaluations, they got a lot of things. This guy's bonkers.
You want to say? Can I say one thing?
Yes.
If you had to guess, guys, how many times has Ryan Ralph been arrested in his entire life? Just shoot me a number.
I'll tell
you. Be conservative.
3.
No.
He's got the black card of
go ahead.
of rap
I
sheets.
think I know that he's been arrested. I want to say over a dozen times.
100 times.
No. To be clear, there's been 100 allegations or charges about him. Fact check.
Ryan Ralph has been arrested more than 100 times over the years.
Arrested
Courts and county,
74 times, over
arrests.
100
Yeah,
charges.
That's
the
it.
point is, it's a monumental amount of charges.
How about this?
Yes.
Between 96 and 2014, it was 74 alone. They're not counting previous. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Even if it was 5.
No, you're right. You're right.
The fact that it's over 50 says that there's a problem with the system, okay? And Mike Benz, who really covered this a lot when all this was going on.
You guys just don't understand him. He's misunderstood.
Yeah, big
the
time.
daughter was
His
saying
daughter.
It's just like,
You
the
guys
average
are wrong.
person's arrested 74 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like the man that murdered the innocent Ukrainian girl on the back of the train or wherever it was.
I actually would love to talk to him.
I would too.
I would actually like to talk to him.
He was misunderstood.
To Ryan Routh, I wouldn't mind talking to him.
I would love that conversation.
74 arrests.
And the system's like, next time you're not gonna do it the next time, are you? Arrest. And Mike Benz, Pat, who really covered this really, really well, he said, Mike Benz, that 95% confident. Bro, Mike Benz is you've had him on the podcast. He said Ryan Ralph was working for the US government, tying him to CIA operations. Weird. CIA operations and recruitment efforts in Ukraine. And Benz claimed that the CIA and U.S. intelligence aligned NGOs that are heavily involved, and Ralph fit into that narrative. And publicly, this is Ryan Ralph, admitted that he tried to join Ukraine's military, but was rejected. I wonder why. Because they're grabbing people. They're doing conscription off the freaking street.
Why didn't they throw him in there?
Exactly. Well, he must be horrible at shooting. Then they shifted
Because he wasn't a rational guy just walking his dog in Kiev. Then they would have
got him, yeah. But then he shifted because he couldn't take to recruiting volunteers. And is it just weird, guys? Like, if you want to have somebody that hates Trump and is pro-Ukraine, you have a guy, I'm just saying, if you were plotting this, to take out President Trump, and he got damn close. So I don't trust him. I don't trust the Ukraine government, obviously. So thank God that he's okay, but I'm not surprised.
And is this true, Vinny? The 100-time thing, but quote unquote, he's never spent a day in jail.
That's the best part.
So you're arrested all these times. You have hundreds of charges.
You walk out.
And you're like,
no.
It's kind of like, remember that video in New York where the guy with the Venezuelan got arrested?
Where's
and he's
his middle
like,
finger?
F you, man.
Because he knows he's
what
untouchable.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, he knows he's
but,
untouchable.
You know, talk about the war on drugs. Some guy gets arrested for a dime bag, 20 years in jail. Bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's double standards going on here.
Well, at least we know about this guy, the one that the Thomas Crooks. Not a damn thing. You just know that he was on a roof, no social media.
You guys see the one guy that showed the clip about who shared it? Did you share it or did Adam
was me.
share it?
It was yesterday of the guy.
Yeah,
it was me.
Showing.
It was a bunch of people sharing it to me on Manect. Another angle of a potential shooter of where this shot could have come from.
Talking about Charlie Kirk now?
About Charlie Kirk.
So
That's the one, right? Pat, is that the one we're talking about?
That conversation?
Yeah. That was, and from my opinion, Patrick, this dude and a bunch of shooters and a bunch of snipers, and me and Tom actually had a conversation last night. Never go with the official narrative. And when you're seeing different angles, and me and Mike even talked about this too, and I don't want to show close-ups or anything like that, Pat, because I don't want to they blow out his face, but it's still graphic. You're going to see something on Charlie's right side, like a little blood spat on the right side, and it looks like an exit wound.
Did you see this, Tom?
Yes, I did. I was watching a report by what appeared to be a very rational and specific ex-military gentleman from Turkey that was talking about the forensics.
This guy?
Yeah, this is the guy. No, there's another one.
There's another guy. This guy is equally sane, and he's saying, hey, look, that appears to me to be an exit wound. And when I go and look at this, and by the way, Kash Patel said on Sunday that the FBI is looking at leads, including the location of the shot and the angle of the bullet, potentially a second shooter. And that's what Kash Patel said on the Sunday news show. So this does not appear, Pat, that it's one
Does
crazy
this say that
person
Kash
out there.
Patel said there's a second shooter?
Yes, sir.
Rob, can you zoom in a little bit, please? I'm 46. Thank you. Director of FBI committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination person. The full weight of Americans' law enforcement is active following the extended. We are meticulously investigating theories and questioning includes the location where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices, text messages, confessions, related conversations, Discord chats, and the angle of the shot and bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hand gesture observed as potential signals near Charlie. So they're doing all of that. Okay, that's
and
great.
They're saying where the shot was taken.
Got it. Some details are known today, while others are still being pursued to ensure every possibility is considered. Our primary focus of complete investigation formation will ensure regarding specific details such as questions about the plane, regarding the turning off transponder to assassination side, we can share updates. Okay, can you show the clip, Rob? Just let's watch the first 2 minutes of the clip, folks. I think it's important for you to see. Where do you want to start from it, Rob? That is...
Okay, so go back. Pat, this is actually wild because you see a flash at the same...
let him explain it. Let him explain it. Go ahead.
You can
show you this, but if you take nothing else away from this video, you need to see this.
And in that video, you can see the same, what appears to be the bullet coming down, and it does line up with the actual gunshot itself. So we're not coming gang violence. Great.
Boom. Saw that?
So this video was created by a friend of mine who is a Marine. You'll see him here at the end. This is the angle he is showing the shot coming from, showing where Charlie was sitting, and the angle of the shot, which will correspond with this video here, which unfortunately we will blur out Charlie's face, but we will show what is necessary to prove that this was an entry and exit wound. Wow. So you'll see him circle the highlighted area right there, and you'll see the exit wound corresponding after, a split second after, as it would from an entry and exit wound. So in this footage, you can clearly see that Charlie is shot from his back right.
Guys, pause.
And there's
just
blood.
want to let you guys know it's a little bit of his graphic.
Little graphic.
So, but keep going. If you're able to take it, I want to watch a little bit through for you to kind of hear this. Keep going.
Splatter coming out of the entry wound immediately after a shot. The first arc is kind of down, as if it's just gushing out from the entry wound. And then the second shot corresponds with when his head kind of snaps forward. That fluid then flips up in relation to that motion, so you can see there's that second splatter flipping up into the air. This is something that I hadn't seen to this date. I saw this for the first time late in the evening yesterday, and I decided that this needed to be put out immediately because no one that I know of is talking about this. So big shout out to my friend who actually found this and created this video. You'll see him here in just a moment. But let's just one more time look at this shot. You see bullet comes in that circled area. You have the blood splatter go down, then up, and then immediately after, you see the exit right here with the skin being pierced, and then the exit wound emerges. And again, that is not a far distance for a bullet to travel, whatever the caliber is, whether it be 5.56, 308, 30-06. It's not even a debate at this point. It doesn't matter what caliber killed him. What matters is that the official narrative is not true. Again, whether the FBI knows or not that they're lying, but this is 100% conclusive evidence that Charlie Kirk was shot in the back of the head, and it exited through the front of his throat. All of the evidence points to Charlie being shot from his back.
By the way, it's
now
tough. And can we give the guy credit? Can you zoom out so I can just say
Pat,
who he is?
Range day, bro. And look at the views. It's not like it's not a kook. He has 214,000 subscribers. At least he's breaking it down and giving us another.
Range day, bro. Great analysis. Seems like a reasonable guy. Vinny, go ahead.
And I just want to ask one question, too, in regard, God rest his soul, to Charlie, because I know where he is. But is there no autopsy report?
I was just going to ask
Pat,
that,
is there, like,
Vinny.
and I get it, and I get it. Thanks,
Thank
Adam.
you.
It's early, and I get it, but we
not that
want
early.
to see. It's not.
been 2
You're
weeks.
very good point.
Been 2 weeks.
Show us, and the fact, and you made a great point when, and this is when we were there, when they came out with his bones were a man of steel. Don't ever try to gaslight us with that type of situation. Because if it's a 30-06 at 200 yards, I didn't want to show it to Robbie. They had a dummy at him with it's like the skin of like a human, and it's set up. It blew the whole neck completely off. Okay, and what I'm saying is, just with all these little pieces, and I keep going back to this. We talked about this last night. George Zinn, you mean the old guy that was down there?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that the guy that was at 9/11 that had ties to the Boston bombing? It's a 1 in 2 billion chance. He's just at a Charlie Kirk speech in Utah, and immediately upon seeing and hearing Charlie get shot, he says, "I did it. Kill me." Now that to me proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that there was another person involved, which you know what that accounts, what it actually is, and that the official. And I'm not saying the FBI's with or behind it, because obviously the guy on the roof and run and a diversion and a distraction. But guys, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked, and I hope the FBI and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and that crew are going to get to the bottom of this for Charlie's sake, because, like you said, there is no autopsy that none of us know about, and I think we deserve it.
And I think, by the way, I'm sorry, Tom. One of the things that I saw in another video, I don't know if you saw this, Tom, the fact that the shooter we followed that jumps off, there's videos that there was never a shot fired from him.
No, exactly.
There's also another video making that claim. Now, again. Is this the one? I think that's the one that you had, that there's not
Pat,
a
where's
shot
him
fired
getting up?
from him.
Yeah, where's him getting up?
Yeah, so again, we don't know. We don't know, but this is the beautiful part about
questions.
The beautiful part about having an assassination done in 2025 versus 1963 or any of that. We have cameras everywhere. You can't fool the people today. Go ahead, Tom.
So I also read some other forensic things last night that was very interesting, that you see what happens is, if that bullet is correct from the rear, that means it went right through his spine. And the exit wound is just cataclysmic. That is exactly consistent with how it would happen. And you see Charlie, the flinch up is the right shoulder flinching up, but then you see his hands go into the fencing position, which is the neurological response when you suffer a major concussion or basically
you see it on fighters and football players. Their hands.
You sever the spinal cord. There's a nerve reaction. That's exactly what you saw from him. And so, shot from the front. I found the bullet below the surface. I've seen those little statements. Wait, where's the official autopsy report? Let's see that. Let's get this going. And by the way, now I'll go into, Pat, the what if. You know what? Maybe this guy was radicalized. He's up there. He's going to take a shot. And then he sees the shot. He sees what happens. Everybody's going bonkers. And he runs off the roof.
Yeah.
So if he takes a shot, where's the bullet?
Great point.
Or where's the?
That's a great point. He was like the Oswald.
Was he set up as a patsy?
Yeah.
And then but let's set that aside.
Great point.
Just look at the forensics. Kash Patel and company. You need, if you're going to do a real investigation here, you need to talk to American people about that autopsy report. Because if there's a hole behind his ear and then this is open, then where's the projectile?
I know.
It's in the dirt below the chair.
By the way, I love, you know what I love about the way this guy speaks? Okay, go to his clip again, Rob, on the way the gentleman, the clip you showed about the military guy.
The range day, bro.
Range day, bro.
And the Turkish guy speaks the same way.
Just listen to the way he speaks, okay? Listen to the way he speaks, his tone, okay? His tone, which is there is value in this. Just open it up and let him speak.
I now have acquired proof that the FBI's official story is false, whether knowingly or unknowingly. We're going to have an entire monologue and talk about a lot of these things after I show you this. But if you take nothing else away from this video,
look at the opening statement. Look at the
ladies
power
and
of
gentlemen,
words.
I now have acquired proof that the FBI's official story is false, whether knowingly or unknowingly.
Pause right there. Okay, what does it sound like? A reasonable guy that's giving his belief and it's false, knowing whether it's knowingly or under. So he's not saying they did it.
Great point.
They're hiding. So this is, we need more recognition of guys like this that delivered. I don't know who he is. So
at all
of a sudden people are going to come back and say, let me tell you, made another video making fun of this.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is based on what I see here, good for this man who is given his analysis based on pure logic, questioning, but doing it in a respectful way. I think guys like this need more eyeballs. And having said that,
I want to give a little perspective, if you don't mind.
I'd like to. You got 1 minute because I got to go to my next meeting at 11:15.
All right. Well, let me just say this. Tom Root said something yesterday about Oswald that Roger Stone didn't even know that there might have been a second shooter. You said this, right? Mm-hmm. So you talk about the patsy right here. Simple question.
Yeah.
You either get shot here or you get shot here.
Yeah.
It can't be both, can it? Wouldn't the autopsy report?
Yes, 100%.
Show the bullet here.
They know what's an entry wound, Adam, and they know what's an exit wound.
Okay.
Like this.
So
boom,
we want to, the country wants to see the autopsy report. In my opinion, we wasted a week of our country's time and efforts focusing on, did the Israel Bibi do it? It's wasted. What happened? They showed the image of a bush. Do you have that part of the video? Out of all of us, who's like, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that, bro. I don't believe. That's me. Yeah. I am vigilantly wanting to know what happened here because something is fishy here. Something is very fishy here.
By the way, to all the military people and guys that worked in the Fed or who were cops who are doing your own due diligence on this and your analysis, please continue to do so. We need you. Those of you guys that played and actually were in these types of situations, make a video, explain. We are leaning on your logical, reasonable analysis on what you think happened here and what the possibilities are, and let the market get to work. You matter more than you do, just so you know that in today's marketplace. Everybody is watching to see what happened. Anyways, gang, for those of you guys that you saw what we talked about at the beginning, if you want to get a chance to meet Eric Trump, he will be on the PBD podcast. Go to the boardroomcigarlounge.com. It's a members-only club. No phones allowed when you come inside. It's just conversations with each other and doing business with each other. He will be at the club. We will give the date for those that become members when it is, due to security and privacy reasons. And then we're going to have a very interesting conversation. I mean, there's a lot of things that we need to be talking about on what's happening there. And the Platinum members will be getting a special gift as well on that day. So go to the Boardroom Cigar Lounge. And aside from that, today's what, Rob? Yes.
I have a special announcement. Can I please?
Please go.
Allow me. Today, there's a very special birthday of a great friend of ours.
Yes.
He's turning 12
One of the
years
best
old.
salespeople.
He's turning 12 years old. His name is Dylan Bet-David.
Dilly boy
And
in the
I created
house.
a little montage for our friend Dylan.
Look at my hair.
Forget about you, Vinny.
No, it's my hair.
Look at the stud in the white.
I love him.
This young man, Dylan Bet-David, is an absolute stud. We were having dinner the other day, and I said, Dilly, I really like you. He goes, Adam, I love you. I want to just show a couple pictures of Dilly throughout the years. That's him and Tico.
Look at Tico's hair.
That's the day that Trump came
That's
here.
the day that Trump came in. Here's another picture of Dylan.
Look
this
at
is him with Elon. Look at that smile. And look at our friend Tico, stoic, but Dylan is smiling. Keep going.
Stefano Ricci jacket,
Here
by the
we
way.
go.
Young man.
More Dylan.
Look at
this
Dilly
is
boy.
Dylan when
At
we're
the
at the airport seeing
Similar
PBD.
smile to his
New
dad.
York.
Zoom in a
Look
little
at
bit. We got the same smile.
We love you, Dylan. That smile is worth $1 billion. Keep going. I think there's one or two more. Here's the first year that I met Dylan.
Baby boy
Look
with
at
Bo Jackson.
right there.
Were you in the room?
What do you
You
mean?
had
I
an
took
hour
the
and a half
picture.
conversation with
I
Bo.
took that picture. Of course, it's amazing.
knows.
I love it. Look how old he is here. I think we have one more video. Now, if I may, this
Jojo
is
Maloney.
what I think of when I think of Dylan Bet-David. This video right here was just at Charlie Kirk Memorial. This is Dylan
Look at that
Bet-David.
guy.
Look
Wow.
at this
Look at
guy.
that guy.
Dilly.
Look at Dylan.
Wow.
Listen,
Dilly,
we
Billy.
love you, Dylan.
Love you,
We're
Dylan.
happy for you. PBD, it's your son. Love the guy. And I've known him since he was 5 years old.
A little gipper.
Why don't you say a few words about our boy?
Yeah,
here?
no, I mean, listen, the last night he comes in and Jen's like, Mom said there's a surprise for me. So why would Mom tell you there's a surprise? Well, she said, tell Mom to never tell me there's a surprise. And Jen has to come. The surprise was he was going to come and watch you play at the game yesterday because the game was a sudden game. Well, it didn't happen because of thunderstorms. Don't tell me there's a surprise. What he doesn't know, he woke up this morning with a bunch of surprises. And he's all into Legos with dinosaurs. So we got him the biggest T-Rex dinosaur that he's dealing with that right now and a bunch of other things. But Dylan's we have a staff meeting coming up here soon, and he's going to get some love at the staff meeting. I'm really proud of him. We're working on some big goals here with him this year, and he's really putting on an effort, and I'm proud of what young man he's becoming. Him and his brother are officially for about 4.5 months, they get to say he's 12 and Tico's 13.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Billy Boy,
we love you.
We
Dylan.
love you, and everybody here wishes you had a full-time job here. But stay in school.
Yeah,
stay in school, and we'll have the
now.
conversation later on.
Happy birthday,
Take
Dylan.
care, everybody. God bless.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.